and the Ad Council. Listen to the Tom Hartman radio program every weekday from 11 to 2 right here on WCPT 820, where facts matter.
This is Chicago's progressive.
All right, coming into your segment.
Yeah, WCPT.
We have 2 spots, and then the news segment, and then, yeah.
Just run one of the spots.
Hi, Henry.
Hi.
How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm good, good.
As soon as you finish, I'm going to start music and then give it a 5 count and then run the news intro.
Okay.
Yeah.
News intro is going to start in about 15 seconds.
Wait till I start the music though.
We'll-
Tune in 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Monday through Friday on WCPT Progressive Talk.
Hi, I'm Michelle Peltier, and here's what we're following on the family meeting.
Hi. Hi.
The Archdiocese of Chicago will celebrate the historic election of Chicago-born Pope Leo on June 14th at Rate Field, home of the White Sox. The program will include music, film, in-person testimonials, and prayer. A Catholic Mass will be celebrated afterward. Born Robert Francis Prevost, newly installed Pope Leo is a longtime White Sox fan. A photo of Prevost attending a White Sox World Series game in 2005 recently went viral. NBC Universal announced Monday that 6-time NBA champion and Hall of Famer Michael Jordan will join the studio's coverage of the NBA this fall. The Chicago Bulls legend will be a special contributor to NBC broadcasts beginning in October. NBC made the announcement during an upfront presentation at Radio City Music Hall, mimicking Jordan's legendary announcement of his return from retirement by flashing a message on screen, "I'm back." NBC was one of the NBA's primary broadcasters for the prime years of Jordan's career, including his 6-trophy run in the 1990s. Naperville is now the 3rd largest city in Illinois, according to new estimates from the U.S. Census. The city added 1,958 residents between mid-2023 and mid-2024, bringing its total population to 153,124 people, latest data shows, seeing year after year consecutive growth since 2021. Naperville has surpassed Joliet to become the 3rd most populated municipality across the state. As of July last year, Chicago posted population of any municipality statewide at 2,721,3008, followed by Aurora. Trailing behind Naperville was Joliet with a population of 151,837, and Rockford comes in last.
It's not even interesting.
Damn.
So the one time you decide to listen,
I was
it's
trying to.
I found that very interesting. Anyway, please visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. You can subscribe and follow us on Fanbase, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Spoutable, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Also subscribe and follow our YouTube channel to view us live and receive reminders when we're on the air. We'll be right back.
Run the spot now, Henry.
Hello.
Run the spot now, Henry. Henry didn't run the spot. we didn't run the spot.
Oh, man. Is the camera on him? He can't, where's,
I get it. I get it.
okay. Take the camera, put the camera on everybody up.
Welcome to the worldwide headquarters of the family meeting. It's family meeting time, y'all. I'm your boy E. Grab your phones, find us on social media, like, subscribe, and follow all those things that Michelle mentioned. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you know the list, right?
Yes.
On and on and on about that. Do that for us, will you? Also, be sure to visit our webpage. That's tfmradioshow.com, tfmradioshow.com. You'll find archived playlists there, as well as a music playlist. You'll see that there as well. It's always changing. I added some old, deep Prince cuts this week.
What?
Y'all ain't ready for that.
Okay.
Y'all ain't ready for that? Y'all ain't ready. I'm telling you, man.
As you're practicing for your DJ job.
I guess so. Yeah.
If I were your girl.
So then, in a space shuttle cockpit controlling everything is Michelle's boy, Goldilocks. My man Hank, Hammering Hank.
Oh, Henry.
Thanks, Hank, for what you do over there, man. Hey, man, for as little as $5 a month, you can become a patron of the broadcast. Visit the website, tfmradioshow.com, and mash the button, become a patron. It's that easy, for as little as $5 a month. The lines fill quickly. The number is 773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. What am I hearing? An echo.
I don't know. I'm hearing it
An
too.
echo, too. Like this. Maybe it's just my head.
It's both of ours then, because I hear it too.
Both of our heads there like that. Thank you for that. Michelle, how you be?
I'd be good.
You be good.
I'd be good.
That's
I'm
right.
cold, but I'd be good.
Are you cold?
It's cold outside and I'm cold in here. I'm cold.
Huh. I'm not so cold. But,
Well, you have on a
hoodie.
Yeah.
You got on a jacket. So, yeah, that's how it works, man. So we got a guest today. Yeah. You haven't formally met him, man.
No.
It's Dion.
Hi, Dion.
Dion,
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, Harding.
No, the pleasure's all mine.
No, I don't think so.
You don't know her yet. He's a rattler too, by the way.
Oh,
She don't know what a rattler
I don't know what a rattler is.
FAMU, Florida A&M University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Y'all got a little drama there too, man.
Oh, little was an understatement.
I'm gonna get your camera right here so people can see it, man. See, Dion fooled around and cornered the market on hair.
It's amazing.
He got all the hair. Look at this. Look at this. See? That's where it went. Come on, man.
That's
Beautiful.
funny.
Dion's a drug dealer from the GI. See how that put together? See how that worked together?
You're an awful person.
You're a drug dealer from the GI, right?
I am very proud to be from GI and very proud to be a drug dealer.
Right. See, there you go. So now they're going to run around saying, "God, he had a drug
Drug
dealer
dealer on the show."
this week." Those blacks, you know how they are.
Drugs, sports, music.
I
That's all
know,
they
they're
got.
dancing and stuff and whatever. Come on, man. You know. Dan, welcome to the broadcast, man.
Thank you.
You have
Thank
no
you for
idea what
having
you've
me.
gotten yourself into today. You have no idea.
Maybe you all don't know.
Oh, see, that's a FAMU rattler right there.
Okay.
That's a FAMU rattler.
What's
You
happening?
can't get it to stand up. You got to turn it so that it's straight there. Turn the base so that
And it's got to go up here. Keep talking while we're fiddling
turn
over
it
there.
down so you're not making. Well, don't do that. Just turn it so that it's.
It's not high enough though.
That doesn't have to be higher, Michelle. Just turn it. Turn it so that it faces the base. Turn like that. Push it that way. There you go. Now turn the base. Turn the base the other way so it's in front of us.
It was there and you took, wasn't it there?
Okay, that's good. That's good. She just had a birthday.
There's no need to
Happy
discuss it.
birthday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You look good for 21.
Listen to this dude.
I never deny any of the days the good Lord has given me.
I heard that.
I'm 62.
Excellent.
hmm
Truly a blessing.
She was just doing stuff like a 62-year-old does with the microphone.
I wouldn't have done that at 22.
Yanking it around and stuff like that. So look, man. We had a robust conversation about what's the dude from Florida? David Hogg. You know about David Hogg?
He's
that,
in trouble now.
Well, I mean, I've been watching the stories a little bit about David Hogg. David Hogg is a person that was elected to be vice chair, I think, for the DNC. And he also ran a super PAC that its mission was to put out ineffective progressive legislators, to primary them, right? And so I'm watching people run around with their hair on fire, those who have hair, about all of this. At the same time, I was reading a report about the governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, vetoing a bill to study reparations. You know who Wes Moore is, right?
Was it
Governor
to
of Maryland
study
right now?
reparations or was it?
To study reparations.
I do. I know who he is.
Okay.
He vetoed a bill to study reparations.
What else was in it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. And he hasn't necessarily commented on it. And I kind of thought two things about that. I thought, one, well, that's jacked up. What office is he going to run for next? And then I thought, it's already been studied enough. So maybe that was his response, but he hasn't offered us a response. Add to that, we talked about this too. You got Raphael Warnock running around the country selling his children's book. Now this dude voted for Marco Rubio to become Secretary of State. All right.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's not a hill I'm going to die on with him.
Okay, but I'm just saying. So when you look at who's effective and what we get upset about, yeah, we have a list of what we call our permanent interests, right?
Okay.
It's where's that? It's 15 of them, right? There's things like a day of voting and eliminating the electoral college, that kind of stuff, right? So if we're going to be about the business, I'm going to be about the business of addressing my permanent interests. I don't care who addresses them. I don't care what political gang you belong to. So when we talk about who's effective, add to that. We talked about this when Deion walked in. So the new president-elect of FAMU, his alma mater, is a black MAGA.
Is that what the hoopla is about?
It is.
I saw all
It
the
is.
stuff,
It's been tough.
and yeah, I didn't understand. So, because I didn't see that explicitly written out, that that's what the
Yeah,
issue was.
she was an elector for the imbecile in the White House. She was an elector for that dude. She's the one that says all that crazy, stupid stuff that we see some of these black folks say, right? So she's appointed, hired by the Board of Trustees. You have a Board of Trustees or Board of Governors or something? What is it?
Trustee.
Trustees?
Didn't they appoint her like a day or so early or something, or didn't they do it against the rules too?
I'm not sure about early, but she did get the vote.
She got the vote.
She got the vote 8-4.
She's president-elect.
8 to 4.
No higher ed experience. Clearly deranged. And so I thought to myself, okay, she's a member of MAGA. And my emotion said, we don't like her
Correct.
because she's a member of MAGA.
Correct.
But then I had to stop for a second and think to myself, am I about my permanent interests or am I about what your gang affiliation is?
I think you have to consider a little of both, because
Yeah,
if you're a MAGA, we kind of know where you're leaning in general.
Okay, let me ask Deion then, because he's a FAMU Rattler, right? So if she comes in and brings any number of scholarship dollars that really closes the gap for a lot of students and does the things that you need the university to do we not like her because she belongs to another gang?
No, I think a person's affiliation. See, the thing we have to think about, and I think about that quite a bit, is that you can say, I don't believe in MAGA. I think they have it wrong. I'm totally on the opposite end of the fence. At the same time, there are a lot of people that we interact with, work with on a regular basis that we may not know their affiliation or know where their heart is when it comes to MAGA or any other type of political views. The key is what they do with it. I have a lot of people that I work with that have different political backgrounds, different political views. But because we really don't talk politics at work, I just judge them by the way we interact and what they give us. And don't get me wrong, I've been on conference calls and people have had paraphernalia in the background and they didn't even realize it. And then next thing you know, it's moved. I guess someone let them know. But here's the deal. If this person, this new president, brings in scholarships and they continue with the agenda that Florida A&M University and other historically black colleges have, is to offer a higher quality education and opportunities, particularly for black students who need it. Now, don't get me wrong. All students are important. We want everyone to achieve. Keep in mind, we're talking about a historically black college, which were designed because of the fact that we were not allowed into other colleges in the first place. So please understand why we call them historically black colleges, because historically we've taken care of our people. Now, if this person is in the office and furthers that agenda, looks at people who have outstanding merit and also need, and provides them with scholarships with the high quality education they can get at Florida A&M University and other campuses, other historically black colleges like Howard, like Morgan State, like UDC, like so many others. Maybe we have to take another look.
Right. Which
Maybe
is my point. So your permanent interests should be more important than what
Yes,
your gang affiliation is.
long term. Long
Term.
Mhm.
Now, I doubt, I'm skeptical about her pursuing what you described,
Right.
but I'm willing to give her at least an inch, not much more than that, to see where she is. Now, if she comes in there and she starts, talking about getting rid of DEI and all the other stuff,
Mhm.
then I'm done with a dumbass. Right?
I understand.
Right? But she needs to know what our permanent interests are.
Right.
She doesn't strike me as an intellect. She doesn't seem very smart. Like a person that's going to come
Like
in.
a MAGA.
Like MAGA. She's in the profile of MAGA.
A plant. We can probably look at her as we can make a good assumption that she's probably a plant. Now, what you're saying is what's going to be crucial. What does she do with the power she has now as president? At the same time, it's going to be up to us, our vice presidents, leaders, students, alumnus, to band together, monitor the situation, and make sure that we curve a president in a direction that's best for the students and best for the future of the university.
Right.
I know how you talk about gang affiliation and that kind of thing. And I think that sometimes what you associate yourself with, who or what group, is a description of who you are. It might not be you in totality, but it's a description of who you are. If we're describing her as MAGA, she's there to destroy that school.
I would tend to believe that would be her bent. Yes. But I will not summarily dismiss somebody until I watch their actions in the role.
That's fair. I think that's fair, and that's an open-minded way to look at it.
Right.
Sure is
But
more open than me.
She gets a really short leash, though. All she needs to do is say the wrong thing the first time, and I'm done for good.
Right.
Right? Because all I'm concerned about is permanent interest. So that kind of goes to these other progressive legislators and executive office holders, and the things they do. Are they in furtherance of our permanent interests? And do we judge them based on their gang affiliation or their commitment to our permanent interests?
It's possible to have both.
Thank you. I was gonna say that.
It's probably a smaller percentage. Probably a smaller percentage to have both, but it's possible to have both.
Say more.
So in other words, because of the gang affiliation, as you put it, the gang name, as you put it, you know what comes with it. You know, if
Right.
someone goes to that organization, what their beliefs are.
Right.
Now, will they have an open heart? Will they have an open mind? It's a possibility. Are they thinking for themselves, or are they a puppet for what a certain interest wants them to do? My minister talks about, I'm the head, but someone else is the neck, turning you every which way they want you to go. Let's examine the situation and move forward. But to be honest, if you know Rattlers, and I'm on a lot of social media groups and a lot of interest groups with the Rattlers and alumni groups, they're not just taking this, not going down without a fight.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do. I mean, to be in an HBCU is to be in perpetual protest.
Well, how did she get there?
It's in Florida. It's a Florida
I
state
mean,
school.
but I mean, how was she even in the group to be chosen for that role?
DeSantis has a say-so in some way on some of this, right?
I believe so, but I
Okay.
really don't know how she got there.
That makes sense. If that's true, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, and it's a Republican state, and they
Yes, and he's
crazy in Florida. Y'all crazy in Florida
something else, I tell you that.
It has changed a lot since I was there.
in a good way.
No,
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 no. We had more freedom. We had more power, and we would throw protest marches without a problem. Now marches come along, they try to make a lot of changes, but people have to understand we're trying to do the right thing.
He sounds like he's running for office, doesn't he? Deion for president. All right, what say you? The number is 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
I'm your doctor when you need. Want some more? Have some weed. You know me, I'm your friend, your main boy, thick and thin. You're pushing me.
I can't hear the station, Henry.
You're pushing me.
You have Henry's phone number?
Oh, come on.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
Clean, bad machine,
Charging my phone.
super clean.
You have Henry's phone number?
Who?
Henry.
Here I stand, secret stash.
Yes.
Bread, baddest bitches
I
in
don't-
the
Do you want me to send it to you?
No, I want you to tell him to run the commercial. You're not running commercial.
Okay.
You're pushing me. You're pushing me.
Is he crying?
Oh, he's trying to talk to us. He's saying commercials are all playing when YouTube. Back and forth. Can you still hear the?
Yeah, John. Why you on the phone?
No, turn it. Maybe it's my.
Yeah. My commercial. That's the idea.
No, I can hear it.
One of you.
It's not. This is off. This is muted.
Tap your computer. Tap your phone. Your phone.
Hello?
Your phone. Is your volume down?
Yeah. Turn it up.
No, turn it down.
No, it's down.
Oh, we're back.
Can't hear the station.
What's wrong?
Echo. You can't hear an echo? It's gone now.
I don't hear that. the station number for this radio?
Hmm?
What's the station number for this radio?
773 773.
No, the dial number.
Oh, 820 AM.
AM
Uh-huh.
828.
828 820 AM. WCPT.
773-763-9278, 773-763-9278 is the number. What I observed this week and what we just discussed before the break is another instance where we kind of get chased into this gang warfare. Which gang you part of? And we end up judging people based on what gang you belong to. And there's reason to do that. History has shown us certain gangs act a certain way and other gangs act a different way. I get that. But we got to start being in the business of having everybody earn our votes, earn our support. So lest it sound like I'm giving a pass to these MAGA imbeciles. I'm not. Your history, your gang affiliation informs me about your tendencies. So I'm watching for that. For sure. For your girl. It's going to become Florida, whatever now. Because, DEI.
Right. Can't have. Yeah.
The way that these people, their logic allows them to believe that somehow or another HBCUs are discriminating against white students.
Mm-hmm.
The only institutions that have ever discriminated against anybody are white institutions.
That's right. Because you can go to a historically Black university and be a white person.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is telling, right? In Washington, D.C., Howard University is the least expensive education in the District of Columbia.
Wow.
By a mile.
And it's one of the best in terms of
You
education.
pay about half the price you do of Georgetown or George Washington to go to Howard. Yet, white folks don't want to go there. They ain't like you ain't welcome. You just don't want to go there. And why is that?
Because there's too many Black people.
Because there's too many black people.
Right. I mean, we know that.
So while they are in their institutions deciding that DEI shouldn't be a thing, we've never done that at HBCUs. Everybody's welcome.
Yep.
That's right. Everyone's welcome.
Yep.
They just choose not to come, which is strike two against them. First, you keep us out of yours, and two, you don't want to be with us with ours.
Well, and they don't want us to gather. They don't want us to have that kind of,
Right. So this MAGA imbecile that I hate to say y'all, but it's kind of y'all, ain't it? It's y'all. That y'all made president of FAMU, a storied institution with a fantastic school of business. They produce some of the best business people in the community, Black or white.
Definitely sure.
Absolutely. And so, does she come in there with the MAGA mentality and attempt to take it apart in the same way that somehow or another they've twisted their minds to believe that the South African, the Afrikaners as they call themselves, were facing genocide? That's what they're saying now, that they had to save them because they were facing genocide. Them people are lucky that those black folks, when they got power, didn't kill them all.
sure. I think Nelson Mandela helped calm that storm.
The fact that there wasn't mass killings in South Africa is a testament to who people of color, black people, people of African descent, who we are. We ain't like that.
Yeah.
So now you got to go save them from genocide because they're getting. Deion steals my lawnmower because he's a drug dealer. He steals things, right? And I come and I say, "Look, man, give me my lawnmower back. I'm entitled to my lawnmower. Give me my lawnmower back." And then he gets me arrested for stealing something he stole from me. It's stupid. It's just
Exactly
stupid.
what's happening.
So that all this contorted view. So being a member of MAGA means that she has a tendency to contort her view. To
She
make
has a
stuff up.
tendency to lie.
That too. Absolutely. So we had a very similar circumstance at Howard when I was at Howard. Atwater. Remember Atwater used to be the chair of the Republican?
Oh.
Lee Atwater was his name.
Yeah, I remember him.
Lee Atwater was nominated to join the board of trustees at Howard back in the 80s. when I was at Howard. You guess who ran a protest against that? You'll never guess who did.
Students.
It's a specific person that you know right now. Ras Baraka.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Ras Baraka
Yeah.
organized students.
New
and
Jersey.
we took over the A building. Okay, so watch this. In the same way those imbeciles stormed the White House, we stormed the administration building at Howard. We gave the president, I shouldn't say we, Ras and his people gave the president his hat and his coat, walked him to the door, and locked the door behind him.
I'm sure you guys didn't spread feces on the walls and
No.
steal stuff. So
We
I
didn't do
wouldn't
that.
compare what
'Cause
you
we're not
guys
that
did
kind of
to
people.
January 6th.
Right. And the deal was that we didn't want Lee Atwater on our board of trustees.
Sure.
And we prevailed. But I was there for a meeting where he pled his case to the students. And he said to the students, I've got the Rolodex from God.
Probably true.
I can make this school financially independent for generations. Just make me a trustee.
Why did he want to be a trustee?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I was 20 years old. I don't know.
See, that's suspect to me too.
Well, I mean, Howard's different though, because Howard is is one of the two schools that are federally appropriated, and they rely heavily on a third of their budget comes from the federal government. So because of how Howard was formed, the Secretary of Education is a standing member on the Board of Trustees at Howard. Yeah, Linda McMahon on the Board of Trustees at Howard.
Wow.
Technically, whether she shows up or not is different.
Oh, she will.
So, I mean, it was during the Reagan years, and this was after he said what he said about Black people, Lee Atwater. And our president at the time, Dr. Cheek, was a Republican, the old kind of Republican. So when I heard him say that, I didn't change my position, but I paused for a second. Because you and I both know the lines outside the building for financial aid and how people can't graduate because they run out of money. We know this. You can solve that. And you know they can because they got billions of dollars that they stole. You know this. So, that was an instance in my younger years where I should have realized, am I a part of the gang or am I for my permanent interests? So what say you?
I think the gang helps you to push your permanent interests forward as opposed to you having to do it by yourself. That's why you're part of the gang, because you are like-minded.
We've been advocating for our permanent interests for decades now, and it doesn't feel effective.
Okay.
What would effective look like?
Well, that's kind of my question, because if we go ahead, man.
I have something that's going to answer both of those.
Here
What
it
is
goes.
effective?
The other drug dealer got the answer.
What does effective look like? And is it gang affiliation versus permanent interest? So if your permanent interest is to lift up everyone in a positive light,
Mhm.
and that's what it goes back to. Equity, not equality, but equity
Yes.
for everyone, because there's a big difference between equity and equality. Equality is giving everyone the same thing. Everyone doesn't need the same thing.
Mhm.
Equity is more giving a person what they need to be successful. And that's what we want.
Mhm.
That's what the American dream is about. For everyone to get their picket fence, their home, their car, send their kids to college.
Mhm.
We failed at somewhere because we're missing on the equity. Now here's where it comes into play. Regardless of your gang that you're affiliated with, can this person be strong enough to do the right thing, to satisfy permanent interests, regardless of what everyone behind them is telling them to do? The strongest person is the one that's able to stand alone, even in the face of a gang, even if they're part of the gang. No one's going to agree to everything.
That's
I don't
right.
agree with everyone in my race, in my class, in my family,
Absolutely.
in my own household. We don't all agree.
Yep.
But we do agree that the why is the most important thing. Why we're doing this in the first place.
Mhm.
If we're doing this for equity for everyone, providing a broader quality education and great experience that you get historically by college.
You know that.
You know it. Great time that you cannot ask for better. That's invaluable. But for the long term, if you're doing it for the right reason, things will come out for the best. We're hoping that in a situation like you talk about with our president, now, our family people are going to fight because that's what we do as rebels, fight. But say we just can't fight and change this, and she's in office. Maybe she has the strength to say, we're going to do right by these students, right by the school, and right by this future, regardless of whatever pressure I'm having behind me. That's what we're looking for.
So you use the word fight,
Mhm.
Rattlers fight. I know all the HBCUs tend to fight.
That's a strike and strike and strike again. That's what we do.
Well, so I'm differentiating between fight and force, right? So you can fight what she wants to do, or you can force her to do what you want to do.
How do you do that without fighting?
Hmm.
Well, I mean, it's the result you desire. So right now, the Dems stand in opposition to the Republican agenda. Instead of forcing the agenda their direction. Okay, so how you do that's a different discussion. But I think the posture you take in terms of forcing them to address your permanent interests versus fighting their permanent interests is more, you can get more results from that.
You bring a good point. However, are you fighting against? When I say fight, I mean fighting for. And that kind of aligns with what you're saying about posturing and bringing the right posture. So we're fighting for positive results, going in the right direction, further the agenda that this established these historically black colleges in the first place.
So you furthering your permanent interests.
Furthering your permanent interests, and I understand what you're saying about posturing.
But
I don't. I was just going to say it's kind of off, but I did read a post from a woman who said that she had FAMU in her will and she was taking it out. So that's going to be another issue that's going to start happening. She's not going to be the only one to do that.
See that's a perfect example, right? So you don't have to take away the resources from FAMU to affect change. You have to have a restricted gift. Make her gift restricted.
Yeah.
You only get it if you do this.
That's a good
Right?
point.
So that's forcing people to do certain things versus just fighting by withholding your resources. I think it's a big mistake.
Well, but it's
to withhold
physical
resources.
violence, like you talk about.
Fiscal violence. That's
Yes.
right. Yeah. So she shouldn't take her gift away. She should change it and make it restricted.
What was the first thing I said? We have to
Let me
start.
remember what you said, man.
Yes.
What you want me to do?
The first thing I said was you have to start with the why.
Yep.
And if your why is to further education for African American students and all students, maybe she should hold off on taking that gift back or taking that will back because she doesn't know what's going to happen in the future. And remember, if it's actually about the students, the ones who need it the most, maybe we should consider leaving.
Yeah,
I
but,
can understand where she's coming from.
Sure.
yeah,
Me
too.
too.
You have to think about both sides.
Well, so I wouldn't even encourage her to wait to see what happens. I would encourage her to participate in the protest by making her gift restricted.
That's a good point.
I don't see anything wrong with her decision because she's a young woman and so she can always change her mind.
Sometimes. I mean, if it's an irrevocable gift, then you can't change your mind. But it depends on how it's structured. I went nerd on you that time.
You did.
I did.
That's his nerd noise.
But to my way of thinking, that's participating in pushing your agenda. I think too often now we spend a lot of our time just fighting,
Yeah.
just saying, "Hey, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that," and going in front of cameras and on microphones to tell people how bad the other gang is. And they are. Their ideas are awful. But what are you doing to force their hand? Right. So getting on. One of the things I saw some of the Democratic candidates do was to go have town halls in those areas where these Republicans wouldn't. That's forcing their hand. That's say, listen, this is what I'm about. The dude that won't come talk to you, he ain't about this. That's forcing their hand. That's doing something about it versus getting in front of a mic and telling people how bad other people are. I just think I find it lazy, to be honest with you.
Well, Eric, there's more than one way to fight, too.
Mhm.
It's not just getting on the
Karate,
microphone.
judo, I know.
Yeah, it's not just telling people or saying something bad about that person. Fight can mean the work that you put into it to bring about positive change.
Well, I just want to know how we define effective for all leaders, political and otherwise. Because David Hogg brought it up about how we talked about that. How is he defining effective? We have to decide what effective looks like.
Apparently, he
Of course,
doesn't know the answer to that question either.
He's got a list though, but I disagree with some of his list.
Mhm.
Okay, the number 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
The rollie on my arm and I'm pouring Sean down and I'm over best because I got it going on. I'm a nice dude.
I can't hear the station.
See these ice cubes, see these ice creams, eligible bachelor, $1 million bow. That's whiter than what's spilling down your throat. The phantom. Exterior like fish eggs, the interior like suicide wrist red. I can exercise you, this could be your phys ed. Cheat on your man, man, that's how you get a his ed. Killer with the V, I know killers in the street with the steel to make you feel like chinchilla in the heat. So don't try to run up on my ear talking all that raspy shit, trying to ask me shit. When my feel your vest, they ain't gonna pass me shit. You should think about it. Take a second.
Oh, thank you.
Matter of fact, you should think for a beat.
I did.
Where'd you go?
Some called Jason's Deli. You know that spot? It's next to Panda Express. It's in a hall. It's on Canal.
Oh, where in Canal? I thought Canal.
If you go back east from here and make a left on Canal, you go up maybe half a mile.
He's not saying anything. He said back in two, but he's answering. He doesn't know why. I can't hear it either
You flipped the switch earlier and we could hear the station.
because we could hear it before.
I want to address what you said about effective too.
Okay.
I had a thought about that before you slid out of there.
They're getting us, but we could hear it before.
I don't, but when I was talking to him earlier, I could hear the station. He said, "Oh, I got to turn it back on." Then he turned it back on again. He apparently turned it off.
Sending audio via clean feed. I got the calls up, by the way.
Excuse me.
Okay, tell me, he got to let us know when he's back. Cause
Back in 30 seconds.
what time is
Tw-
it? You know what time it is?
29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Will we know? Will we hear? Or he'll have to tell us that we're
Yeah, time for that.
15 seconds. He's letting us know. I guess he can hear us, though. Stand by. Live.
Yeah.
Now our music is funny. Is it skipping for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would be the best of all friends. Learn to be LOVE. I was your man, so you was my lady friend. We spent time. I found a way to be by your side through the ins and outs.
He can't hear our music.
After a while of being settled down, I didn't know how to keep the love.
773-763-9278 is the number. 773-763-9278. You wanted to say something about effective, yeah.
Yeah, I do. If you look at Dr.
So
Martin
is this
Luther,
music on for you, man?
that's cool.
You digging that?
I'm digging with it. If you look at Martin Luther King Jr., not only was his name King, but he was the king of effectiveness. And I would say he fought. He fought with reason and he fought with strategy. Some people thought he was just, okay, let's go march and protest this. No, he marched in the right place at the right time with the right people, with a mix of people from different backgrounds, different religions, and different creeds, but got the attention of the world to bring it to what's going on. And then once he built momentum from that, he went to the powers that be, the legislation, the executive branch, and forced the hand, like what you're talking about, to bring about positive change and make it legal. So therefore it is in the system. Now, did that change everything overnight? Did it change people's attitudes overnight? No. But once your hand is forced from a legal standpoint, then now you have effectiveness to bring about positive, gradual change. So I think he sets the example for what leadership looks about. His example of leadership is also very effective. Maybe we can fight strategically to bring about positive change.
Man, I got so many thoughts about that. Good point, though.
Thank you, sir.
Good point. That was leadership. I question the goal,
Whose goal?
That's what I was going to say.
Dr. King's goal.
Why do you question the goal?
Okay, there's two levels to that. One is if you have to ask those who are plundering you to stop plundering you, then you got a problem inherently. But more importantly, I think that movement to integrate did a lot to kill the net wealth of people, black people.
How so?
So I mean, you use the Negro Leagues as a great example.
Okay.
The big desire to play in the majors killed the Negro Leagues. The big desire to go sit in what do they call those things when you get a milkshakes? Sit at the lunch counter.
The diners.
Yeah, you want to go eat in their diners, and then so you took the money from Mr. James in his diner to go spend money with them.
You bring a good point.
That wasn't his intention, though.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Exactly. But that is what you started off saying, as though that was he intended to do. You said what his goal was.
Yeah.
And his goal was for us to have the right to do so. Now it's up to us. A good example of this is the neighborhood that we are right around the corner from, Chinatown. A lot of those people never leave.
Yep.
Their cleaners is there, their school is there, their bank is there. So therefore, their money that they earn circulates through their community several times before it may never leave. So we have to retrain ourselves. And see, keep in mind, for African Americans, it's difficult because we were denied so much.
Yeah.
So we wanted to get what we saw. We were denied going to Georgetown. We wanted it more. And that's human nature. If we're denied having a nice car, we wanted it more. If you're denied a lifestyle, we wanted it more. So once we got it, you're right. We ran and got it. The point is now, and this is part of my MO in life, is to retrain our mind.
Yeah.
That we go to a cleaners, that we are looking for a local African-American cleaners before it goes anywhere else. Before we go to a restaurant, we're looking for a local African-American owned restaurant before we go anything else. Now, sometimes you might have to drive a little further.
Right.
It may take a little longer.
It may cost a little more too.
It may cost a little more, but it's worth it. And we have to understand why it costs more. Because if you go to Macy's and buy a pair of jeans, they're buying 1,000 pair of jeans at one time. If we go to John's jean shop, he's only buying 100. So therefore, their cost could be lower because of the volume. But we as African Americans have to understand that so we can circulate our dollars, improve our wealth, but also take advantage of the benefits that Dr. King gave us.
Yeah, so I agree with you that he demonstrated leadership for sure. He gave his life for that leadership. I agree with that. I question. I don't know what his goal was. I know that it felt like we're begging other communities to take our money. It presented like that, even though it may not have been that.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think that he wanted equity. I don't think he wanted. I don't know that I agree with that, Eric.
Well, so the Montgomery bus boycott is a bad example because the economies of scale necessary to start a bus company is pretty robust, right? But in a smaller scale, if you instead of boycotting somebody who makes you sit in the back of the bus, you start your own bus company. So what you're fighting for is the capital necessary Start your own bus company.
Right.
It's a bad example, I know, because of how starting a bus company is a lot. But like, I'm pretty sure that my grandmother, when she bought my grandmother and grandfather, when they bought their first home on the west side, needed to use I'm sure banks wouldn't lend them money to buy that house. So they had to use other means. There were whites who would sell you houses on contract. You guys know this story, right?
Yeah.
So I would have been petitioning banks to say, you need to lend to black people so we can buy our own houses. But I don't want to dig too deep in Dr. King, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Or you can also look at people like Brokeman, Jacoby Dickens, that started their own banks, and they offered more opportunities for African Americans here in Chicago.
Mhm.
Those guys were heroic, and they were ahead of their time, and they made a difference. So a lot of African Americans got loans. In other words, they were denied. So they made a difference. We continued. And there are two sides of the coin, because I can see your side too. Once we got to the point where all banks would take our money and we can deposit and get loans,
We took it to their bank.
we took it to theirs. And then these others started to struggle. You're exactly right. Sometimes it's because we lack the consciousness, and sometimes it's just because it's easier. It's easier because it's a Chase ATM on every corner. In Chicago, New York, you can close your eyes and throw a dart at a Chase. So it's a little easier, and we have to go a little step further to support our own, but it's worth it. That's what I'm about, man, making a difference. Yes, we have this opportunity over here with the new shiny thing on the left, but let's keep our money here on the right. Can you do it wholly? No, you can't.
I remember maybe 20 years ago, there was a grocery store, a big white-owned chain grocery store closing on the west side of Chicago. And I remember, if I recall correctly, it was Danny Davis, who was marching around, and people had signs walking around in front of, I think it was a Jewel, that said, "Don't close our store." It's a Jewel. And they were saying, "Don't close our store." And I remember seeing that on the news, and then the news had enough sense back then. They interviewed a guy who was about 2 blocks down, who had a small store, black guy. And he was like, "I don't know why they just come over here."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in that case, leadership, I understood that we need those kind of staples in our communities, but completely missed the point. I mean, that wasn't your store.
Mm-hmm.
That was their store. You're
Right.
begging them to take your money. So is that effective leadership?
It's two sides to every coin. Now, the gentleman who had the African American store, did he offer fresh fruits and
You
vegetables?
know the answer to that. They had people sitting on the bread and stuff. It was all jacked up, I'm sure.
So this is what I'm
He sold
getting
40
to.
ounces. You know he did.
The first thing you said was, I'm a drug dealer. And so I work in the healthcare industry. In the healthcare industry,
That's what drug dealers do now.
It is a healthcare thing, isn't it?
on the south side of Chicago and the west side of Chicago, one thing we're working with are food insecurities. And sometimes we're in food and drugstore deserts because we don't have enough fresh fruits and vegetables. Sometimes we eat ourselves unhealthy. So if there is a business that's providing fresh fruits and vegetables in an underserved area,
Well, see, that kind of goes back to your answer earlier about being able to buy bulk and capacity and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I don't know that he had that capacity.
right,
Yeah.
But,
right.
but this was an opportunity, since Jewel was closing, to fill that void with somebody of the community. Get him the capacity. Beg for him to have capacity. Don't beg for them people to stay here and take your money.
I agree. We just can't forget about health equity because we have to take care of our
Change
health.
the subjects.
Our health is our wealth.
He be changing subjects. These drug dealers, man, they be changing subjects. all the time.
Hey, I noticed you played I'm Your Pusher too. Did you catch that? I did. You called me a drug dealer and played I'm Your Pusher.
I'm glad you caught that. Number 773-763-9278. Michelle's got news for you. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
To a theater. And I saw the food in a
Do you do the
game.
Facebook page?
I did.
Okay.
Always wanted
Is he are we on commercial now?
to get into a band
Nothing.
to sing
He doesn't know why it's not working.
He did it earlier though.
And it become a bad piano playing.
So Stella said we're not on Facebook. If you care about that. 1 minute until news. Oh, that's me.
The city of the stars, movies, women.
"30 seconds." "15 seconds." You gonna play music to start me? Go.
It's my song.
Welcome back. This is Michelle Peltier, and
You don't
here's
like the song, Michelle?
I can't hear it. It's skipping in my ear, but it's not my happy song, which is fine because this is a sad story. Here's more of what we're following on the family meeting. Adriana Smith started complaining of severe headaches in February. She sought medical treatment at Northside Hospital in Georgia and was released with medication. The next morning, Smith's boyfriend woke up to her making gargling sounds and gasping for air in her sleep. She was only 9 weeks pregnant. But after being rushed to the hospital, doctors said there was nothing they could do. Smith was transferred to Emory University Hospital, where she has been on life support for over 3 months. Now, Smith is 21 weeks pregnant, and according to Georgia's heartbeat bill, she cannot be taken off of life support until she gives birth through cesarean section. Georgia House Bill 481, the anti-abortion bill passed in 2019, prevents an abortion after a fetus heartbeat is detected, usually around 6 weeks. Because Smith is brain dead, there's no way to fully understand the condition of her future son. He may be blind, may not be able to walk, may not survive once he's born.
He may not have his mother.
She's already gone.
Right.
And there's another, her other son thinks that she's asleep, waiting for her to wake up. The whole thing is just awful. I just wanted to illustrate that story as a situation that's going on with women today. I think it's important that we know that even
All
if you're,
through one of the games.
even if you are comatose, you still have no choice. Can't do anything. All right, a $50 million Magic Theater is slated to open inside the previous Lowry's Prime Rib restaurant, marking a massive investment in the Magnificent Mile area. The Hand and Eye, as it will be called, will take over the McCormick Mansion at 100 East Ontario Street, just around the corner from the Mag Mile. The 35,000 square foot space will have 37 magic rooms and a tour that will focus on the history of close-up magic.
Magic rooms. Well, sound nasty to me.
Visitors will be guided through secret passageways throughout the mansion, encountering world-class magicians along the way. The Hand and Eye plans to be open 7 nights a week, and it will be open to, you're going to love this part, adults only.
That's nasty.
Dinner reservations will also be available. 7 theaters inside the mansion will offer seating for 25 to 100 guests, and they will be customized for everything from close-up magic to medium-range illusions. The venue will also feature live jazz and a retail store. The venue is set to open in spring 2026.
Nasty.
Google has settled a racial bias lawsuit with its Black employees to the tune of $50 million. On Thursday, May 8th, a preliminary settlement for over 4,000 current and former Google employees in California and New York was filed in Oakland, California, federal court, and is awaiting a judge's approval. The plaintiffs in the class action lawsuit have accused the tech giant of fostering a racially biased corporate culture where management pushes Black employees towards lower level jobs, pays them less, scores their performance ratings lower, and further denies them opportunity for advancement. Google has denied wrongdoing in agreeing to settle and said it fully complied with all applicable laws.
Yeah, right.
That's why you're paying $50 million. Please visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. You can subscribe and follow us on Fanbase, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Spoutable, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Also subscribe and follow our YouTube channel to view us live and receive reminders when we are on the air. And before we go, it's time. What's the time for, Eric?
I ain't got my watch. I don't know.
Our 4th annual
The golf outing. Yeah.
golf outing,
Fantastic.
August 1st, Spring Valley Country Club in Salem. Come join us. Go visit our website for more details. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. "30 seconds.
Yeah, let me know when you're back.
We will. "15 seconds. I kind of like the countdown.
Probably delayed by 4 seconds. So there's gonna be some dead air in this thing.
Stand by. Now, he said love, but he meant live. He said love, but he meant live. We're live.
We don't know what you
If your ear, so I be sublime. It's enjoyable to know you in the concubines. Niggas, take off your coats. Ladies act like gems. Sit down, Indian styles, we recite these hymns. See, lyrically, I'm Mario Andretti on the Momo. Ludicrously speedy or infectious with the slow-mo. Heard me in the 80s, JVs on the promo. Am I never in the quest to get the paper on the caper? But now, let me take it to the queen side. Take it into Brooklyn.
773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. Let me remind you again, there's a golf outing. There's a golf outing this year. What's it, Spring Valley? Is that the name of the place? Spring Valley? It's in Salem, Wisconsin, not Salem, Massachusetts. Don't get it wrong now. If you're on no flight trying to go to Massachusetts. And we gave away $30,000 this year, thanks to you guys and your attendance at the past outings.
Yes.
So let's see if we can give away $50,000 in scholarship money this year.
Okay.
Some of the people
Looking
going
for
to family might need it.
sponsorships. We're looking for sponsors.
I'm saying. Yeah, sponsors. We need sponsors too. Sponsor a hole, like $250, I think, for a hole, something like that. Yeah. Come on, sponsor a hole or something. We might even have Dion out there, the drug dealer.
Oh,
What you need, baby? What you
you
need?
play golf?
Not really.
You could come and work with me then.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
773-763-9278 is the number. So I don't know. I feel like we may have wandered off a little bit, which is typical for what we do. But effectiveness is, I think you asked the question, Michelle, last week. It may have been last week, whatever week we talked about it, is how are we measuring effectiveness? And I think that the only way to do so is for us to collectively agree on what our permanent interests are. Right? Like we all know, MAGA or not, we know you want a good education for your child.
Sure.
Right? Okay, so now how do you define a good education?
That's right. It's when you get down to the nuts and bolts. That's where I guess
Because they
the
don't want you reading certain books and,
right,
and learning certain things, and they don't want certain kinds of people.
right.
So it's a little different for them in that regard, but they still want a good education.
Yep.
That leads to lots of opportunity in life. So you can get these damn kids off your payroll, if anything.
Yep.
We all want that. We disagree on how you do it. So then I'm willing to have that conversation about how we do it with anybody. But that ain't the conversation you're having with one of these gangs. So I think that to the extent that we are focused on our permanent interests and that we gravitate towards people who have made a clear and comfortable commitment to addressing our permanent interests, then that's my man or woman. I don't care what gang you belong to. I don't care. Because I'm about my permanent interests. So Michelle doesn't believe that. She wants me to join the gang too.
Your family's a gang, right? There are gang. Everything's a gang.
Yeah.
Being independent is a gang, right? So, and you gravitate or you participate in those particular groups because we're like-minded, like I said earlier. There's nothing that a MAGA can do, no matter what. I don't care. You can give $1 million to an HBCU, but if you're treating the rest of the Black community like crap, it still doesn't satisfy me. To me, it's a holistic kind of thing.
But if that gang, and again, I agree with you that it's highly unlikely, if not impossible. But if that gang, their leadership decided that they were going to address our permanent interests in a meaningful way, again, I agree with you that it's highly unlikely, if not impossible. But I have to allow myself the intellectual space to say, I'm about my permanent interests.
So let me ask you this. When you encounter people for the first time in terms of incorporating them into your life, do you trust first, or are you suspicious first until you can trust?
So here's where it makes a difference. Your gang affiliation allows me to respond to you a certain kind of way. I'm wary of you if you belong to a certain gang.
So
But
why?
I'm making it known what my permanent interests are. And if you show me an interest in my permanent interests that I can trust and believe in, then you're my man.
So it has for you, this is a question for you, that means I can't just come to you and say, this is what I plan to do for your people. If I say that and I have nothing to show for it, because I'm just now coming to this realization myself that I want to help you, Black people.
Are you a MAGA person now? Are you
Yeah,
playing the role of a
I'm-
MAGA person?
yes. So
Yeah, I'm skeptical.
okay, so how do you allow them an opportunity to disappoint you or to prove you right?
So I don't. What I do is I test them in a meaningful way.
Okay.
Right? I challenge their intellect. I challenge their past. I'm saying I will, because they don't talk to me. They talk to y'all, but they don't talk to me, because I bring smoke. But if for some reason they said that, yes, you know what, I'll come around and I see the importance of your permanent interests. Okay, then we need to have a talk then, because I know who you've been. And I need some more information to determine if I can get down with you. But I need to hold that intellectual space in my head,
Sure.
because I need to be about my permanent interests. I think on the other side of the agenda, we allow the other side to be lazy too often, because they understand that the other side is crazy. You gotta vote for me. All I gotta do is show you a little bit, or just tell you I ain't them, and get your vote.
See, I think
We can't let that happen either.
I know, but I think that was then and that's not now. I think that we have been so burned by this whole.
How can you say that when they elected this orange imbecile again?
I'm not talking about them though. I'm talking about the aftermath of after November 5th.
Yeah, but you said the same thing when they elected him the first time and got his ass out of there.
And
The country learned a lesson after dealing with that for 4 years.
obviously they
and then
did.
did it
I'm
again.
talking about us giving them a chance. I'm being you now. You're saying I'm going to be intellectual about it. I don't know how you give them space to
No,
prove.
I think I hear what you said. I think you're saying what I'm saying the wrong way.
Okay.
Because I'm not necessarily giving them a chance.
Okay.
I'm showing commitment to my permanent interests. And I'm listening to anybody that is willing to address them. And I do not believe at this point that there are many, if any, MAGAs that will address them in a meaningful way. I don't believe that.
Okay.
But I have to hold intellectual space in my mind to be able to say it's possible. And not hopeful, but it's possible. Because I'm about my permanent interests.
You're a better person
But
than
it
I am.
also, it forces the other side, it forces us to hold them accountable.
You know,
The MAGA portion or the Democrats?
The progressives.
The progressives. Okay, I get that because MAGA don't care. They don't care about what we say, what we
Well,
think, who we
unless and
are.
until they get kicked in the ass, they don't care.
They don't care. They want to be on that island by themselves. They
Unless-
do not care.
Unless they get kicked in the ass, though.
They don't care. They do not care.
Some of them care now because they got kicked in the ass.
Those are the civilians. Those aren't the politicians and the billionaires. They don't, we need
Well,
to
I'm
be
talking
after.
about them as a whole. I'm talking about the elected officials and the people who support them.
Okay, well, the people who support them may care a little because they're losing everything. But the people in power, they don't care. That's why they keep going on doing what they're
That's
doing.
why I said I'm skeptical. I'm just saying intellectually have to hold that space in my mind because I'm about my permanent interest. I'm not about this gang stuff.
You're part of a gang, whether you claim it or not, is my point.
I'm not. Go ahead, man.
I don't know if that's what he's saying.
Yes, it is.
It's
I think
not.
he's saying that there is a gang affiliation,
Yes.
and you may be part of that gang. I think what he's saying is that sometimes we're forced to give a person a chance. If this person is in power and in a position, to a certain degree, if we're going to move our agenda forward, we have to work with them. And that means giving them a chance. So therefore, he's saying just open the mind just a little bit and see what happens. Are they willing to work with us? Are they willing? If I'm willing to open my mind, are you willing to open yours? I think that's what Eric is saying. And that's what I'm getting from this conversation.
Giving them a chance is more aggressive than where I am.
Okay.
Holding a space in my mind for the possibility is where I am.
Okay. Okay.
But I haven't run across anybody who supports that orange imbecile, who I believe I can have a meaningful conversation about my permanent interests with. I haven't run across them. But they do hold the levers of power. And so if asked, and you know I do this all the time, I walked into a car dealership 2 weeks ago. And I went to the front desk and said, do y'all have any black people working in here that sell cars?
Mm-hmm.
No. I called one and I asked them over the phone, you any black salespeople in your dealership? And the woman paused and she was taken aback, of course, because they don't ask those kind of questions. She said, well, we don't have any coloreds.
Oh!
I'm talking about this conversation in 1960. It was a 1960 conversation, right?
Was it an old woman?
She sounded young.
Oh, wow.
But I think she was still stumbling in her mind over the fact that I asked her if you got any black people. And I didn't ask her, did you have any African Americans working? I said, do you have any black people working here that sell cars?
Oh my gosh. Now look,
I do it all the time.
I want you to tell the story because this is one of my, well, it's not a favorite, but it's a good story that you tell about when you were talking to the representative online and asking her if she had what kind of diversity, because she touted that she believed in diversity. And do you know what I'm talking? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And how the people came at you?
You mean the one where I asked her how you define diversity?
Yeah. Or how many people, how do you show diversity in what you're doing?
The problem I got with that, Michelle, is that I do it a lot.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah,
I've only
I
heard
don't
the
know which one it was. I remember one instance where there was a trade journal. I'm in the financial services business, and they talked, and a lady wrote an article about the need for diversity in the industry. So I wrote her an email. I said, okay, so first off, In this one issue of this magazine, you had no black people writing any articles. So do you have any black people that ever write articles for your magazine? And she wrote back and she said, well, no, we don't. And you're right. You're exactly right. That's a mistake. I'm sitting here touting diversity and we don't display diversity. And she asked me if I would write. I said, no, but I know people who can write. I got lots of people I know that could write.
Now, see, I don't think that that's malicious, though. That's the bubble that I talk about. That's why we need to be in rooms, because if you're in a room with people that just look like you, you're not thinking about, it's not intentional that you're not including other people that look different than you. You just don't think about it because there isn't anybody in your line of sight that is different than you.
Right.
I think you have both. You have some people that are open-minded. They just never thought about it.
They just
The
never
people
thought
that
about
hang
it.
around the community in, it just does not offer it. So therefore, that's why it's important to have someone in the room, like what Eric is talking about, someone of color, to give us diversity of thought, to think differently. Maybe we do need to do this. Now, there are some people in this world too are very intentional. This is just going to be just about us, and that's all it is to it.
Yes.
But see, what people have to open their mind is just because a person of color gets a seat at the table, that doesn't mean you have to leave the table. That means we can be at this table together.
Exactly.
That sounded real kumbaya.
That's the way I like it.
See, I live in a space where I like uncomfortable silence. And I like discomfort. I think that much of the change that we need, much of the change we need requires.
So do you like to witness discomfort, or are you okay with being discomforted?
Well, I don't know that I'm often discomforted. As a black man walking around every day where you never know if you're coming home for any number of reasons, I don't know that I'm ever discomforted, but I'm not even ashamed to say, I enjoy creating discomfort. I enjoy invading people's personal space.
Oh my.
Oh yeah.
What's an example of a personal space?
Like I'll get close to you
All up in your grill.
and ask you. Like when I went into this dealership, I went up to the counter and leaned over and got in the lady's face. Do you have any black people working here? I like that.
I had a conversation with my family this morning. People will do what you allow them to do.
That's exactly right.
Oprah Winfrey said, you get in life what you had the courage to ask for.
That's right.
You made the step and you asked for it. So now people are on notice and at least thinking about it. Do people always make a change and change it? No, but at least it's on their mind. And you have done your job by doing that.
That girl remembers me.
Exactly.
She
Of
remembers
course.
me.
She will
And
never forget.
And she remembers that I turned my ass around and walked out of there because they didn't have any black people.
So now she will pass that on to leadership.
Right.
And the leadership that can make a difference will hear it.
Or say, well, good, I'm glad he's gone.
But I think, though, in most instances, in situations like that, it's not intentional. I think that they just didn't think about it.
Could be. There's some of both going on.
I agree. I agree that there is a lot of intention to keep us out of spaces and places. I do. But I think in those couple of instances, I just don't think until somebody asks them the question, do you have any black people here? Do you have any Asians here? You know, then they're like, oh yeah. And hopefully that corrects that vision. That corrects it. But if nobody's asking, nobody's going to change it.
And that can be so important, that change. I really learned that when I was at FAMU. I did an internship with a cola company. And with this cola company, we're sitting around the board and they had some old cola that was expired. Too much of it.
Give it to the black people.
And they said, what are we going to do with this?
Right.
And one guy jokingly said, send it to this store. Those people don't know what they're drinking anyway.
Oh, wow.
And you know what kind of people went to that store.
Well, you were in the room.
I was in the room.
Okay, here we go.
So
the Rattler come out?
So the Rattler came out, and I nipped that in the bud very quickly. When I said we fight, we Rattlers fight. And there's nothing wrong with fighting for your permanent interest.
What'd you say?
So I told them, first of all, it's not funny because the
Yeah.
rest of them laughed at it when they said it. Secondly, we need to respect the people that are improving the bottom line of this company. If you give them something bad, do you think they're going to come back? If you poison them and they get sick, do you think they're going to come back? That's where our money is coming from. So from an ethical standpoint and also from a business standpoint, I addressed it. And I was 20 years old.
So that's
19, 20 years old.
That's a great example. So I'm curious, then in that instance, what is your permanent interest
So my permanent interest
in that instance?
is one, for everyone to have a seat at the table. Because if I were not there, they would have laughed about it and kept going. And that goes back to what you did at that car dealership. If you don't speak up, you don't bring change. So my permanent interest is to bring about positive change. And going back to that word equity, they would not think of doing that, and they definitely would not laugh about it in a different community.
So what about in that instance, that cola company, to that same store they wanted to give that bad cola to?
Mhm.
How about giving them the bulk discount you give to the big box stores?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
So instead of giving them this old cola, give them new cola and give them the discount you give to the big box stores so that they can make more profit on it.
Yes. Now I
That
will
would
give
have
them
been
credit.
my permanent interest.
They did do that because, as a matter of fact, that store I was assigned to. So I was the salesperson that covered that store. We built 10,000 case displays for that store.
Before you started selling drugs.
Yeah, this is before I started selling drugs. Yeah, before I started selling drugs. You're a pusher, but I'm the iced tea version. But the point is here is that they did get the big box store because they were huge. I mean, and they were very important. It was the type of customers that they attracted that they thought it was funny. And I made sure it's clear. You're going to think again before you laugh or think anything negative like that again. I'm glad I was in the room.
Yeah, me too. That's a rattler for you. So you should know this. I took Michelle to Howard Homecoming this past year.
Life changing.
Where'd you go to school?
Did you pause like that?
Because it's where didn't I go to school, basically. I graduated from Baker.
Okay, excellent.
You don't know what that is. You know what Baker is?
No,
No.
Nobody does. It's in
What
Kansas.
that is,
but you can
man.
tell she's a very intelligent, articulate woman. So I know that.
Thank you.
You must have paid him on the way in here.
I do know that much.
You say he did it? Okay. I've known him for how long? A couple of years. I still don't know where it is. It's in Missouri somewhere. Right?
It's in Baldwin City, Kansas.
Oh, there. You know where Baldwin City is?
No.
No.
Where are you from? Are you from Chicago?
I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
You ever go to Jack Stack down
That's that, they brought that after I left. I've been
Did they
here
really?
22 years.
there?
Gates is my guy.
Those are my fraternity brothers, Gates.
Shut up.
You know they're Kappa. I don't know them, but I'm a Kappa. So
Okay. All
Gates
right,
is
y'all
a
can
Kappa.
catch up on during the break. 773-763-9278. Not sure if we can take calls. 'Cause I can't hear
We
the
can't.
station, but
We can't.
can't do it.
No, he just
Then
told me.
forget that number. Scratch it. Take it off. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
When I was in Kansas City, I had one of my homeboys. He took me to Gates.
What am I
I gotta know
saying?
when-
3 minutes.
He took me to a Gates that used to be a Pepsi.
Where were you?
West side of town. It was the black side of town, but it used to be a Peppi's.
That's
It was a Peppi's, and they converted it into Gates. And if you look at it, everything in there was Mexican style.
That's
But
funny.
they were selling Gates. You never went to that one.
Well, they all are the same. The decor in all of them is pretty much the
Unless they bought a
same.
bunch of Peppi's. This was dark. I mean, you can just, how the Mexican decor has a curved
Yeah.
door. Exactly like
Yeah.
that. I mean, you can just look at it and tell it used to be a Peppi's. So they probably bought the Peppi's and converted it into a Gates.
I don't know. They all have those arched
That's
and
the thing I
the.
remember about it. The Gates can't mess with Kenny's. They can't mess with Chicago Pit Stop.
Oh, come on now.
Have you had Chicago Pit Stop?
I have had.
I'm with Gates, man.
I have had no.
Have you had Chicago Pit
I
Stop?
have had. I have had
I
no,
57. I've had, yeah.
I've had
Gates
no
is
comparable barbecue to Kansas
off the chain.
City's here in
Gates is
Chicago
off
at
Have you
all.
tried Chicago pit stop?
I haven't. I have
Where
not.
do you live?
Not on
downtown.
downtown.
Okay, we gotta get you Chicago pit stop. And back in the day, Kenny's. I would say Kenny's.
I know Ken, man. I don't know.
Thank
Oh,
you
the
for
Kenny's back
being
in-
down with the Gates, because it's
Yeah, I know
true.
Gates, man. I ordered Gates House to have it delivered to me, man.
Have you tried Chicago pit stop?
I have, yeah.
Oh, come on, Eric.
I'm trying to tell you,
Hey,
man.
you went to the one in Chicago Heights? By where we live?
Probably. There's two, right?
It's on 30. See, I don't think you've been to Chicago pit stop. It's on US 30 in Chicago Heights.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I've been there, yeah. I've been there. It's
'Cause
been a while.
I don't think Gates can mess with. No put down on your boy. They
You
both
don't own
black
Gates.
Gates.
You don't care about that.
They both black Gates. I know that.
Why are you saying I don't care about that?
You don't own Gates. Let's tell me.
The time? Oh, 60. That was 60 seconds. Yeah.
Sound like you hooked on Chicago pit stop. Huh? You hooked on that?
Oh yeah, I'm hooked. It's
Where is it?
It's on Lincoln Highway.
Do you know that area?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
It's south of where we live.
Chicago Heights. I have to tell you, but it's one in the city,
There you go.
like 95th and
30 seconds.
96 in Halston. It's one right there.
Oh,
That's the one I went to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right off the expressway. Get that big smokestack sticking out the top, and you can smell it when you drive by.
Mm-hmm.
15 seconds. You should tell them we can't take calls.
I just did.
Stand by. Live.
The ladies will kick it, the rhyme it is wicked. Those that don't know how to be pros get evicted. A woman could bear you, break you, take you. Now it's time to rhyme. Can you relate to a sister dope enough to make you holler and scream?
Yo, let me take it from here, queen. Excuse me, but I think I'm about due to get into precisely what I am about to do. I'm conversating to the folks who have no whatsoever clue. So listen very carefully as I break it down for you. Merrily, 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 happy, overjoyed. Please, with all the beats and rhymes my sisters have employed. Look, as me throwing down the sound totally a yes. Let me state the position.
Yeah, so I would give out the phone number, but we can't take calls today. Yeah, we can't hear the station here. We hear you. So that's how that works. We can't hear the station, so we can't take calls today. Not my fault. I didn't do it.
No, it wasn't you.
We heard it earlier. We just couldn't hear
I
it.
know that's really weird because he was crystal clear when we first heard him. I don't know.
I don't know what happened. Flip a switch or something like that.
We're adaptable. We can do it.
Yeah, we flex, man. We flex. If you can't tell, Dion, we don't really come in here with a plan.
But you're having fun. I can tell that.
We just do the damn thing, you know. So back to permanent interest. I think many of our let me look them up real quick. Many of our permanent interests are everybody's.
That's what I was going to say. We all really, we want health, shelter,
Here it is. Watch
food.
this. I'll read them for you. This is for your edification, Dia. Medicare for all, including dental. Just lower the Medicare age to 0. Right? Public education, K through 14. A living wage. Overturn Citizens United. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that should be on there.
Yeah. National Mandatory Voting Week.
Yep.
Improved neighborhood banking. Lifetime lobbying ban on elected officials.
How are they going to make money? It's a joke.
A 32-hour work week.
Yay.
Term limits on all elected officials.
That's one I disagree with.
The institutional knowledge is a thing. Lead the world in renewable energy. National popular vote versus the Electoral College. Expand the Supreme Court. Kill the filibuster. Draw straight district lines like these squiggly lines,
Mhm.
and cut Pentagon funding.
Did you put that on our website?
I did. You ever looked at our website?
Not for a minute.
TFMradioshow.com. You can find it there yourself.
Too busy
So-
looking at Zeffy. Go ahead.
You like Zeffy. You like saying Zeffy, don't you?
Go on, continue.
Yeah. So, I've been trying to make this argument for several years now, I think, about extracting yourself from gang warfare. Instead of running around proclaiming yourself being part of a gang, proclaim yourself in favor of your permanent interests. And be a free agent. Everybody who can deliver your permanent interests has a chance to get your vote. I say that with all sincerity and with the understanding that there's a group of people out here for whom we can never count on that from. I get that. And they belong to a certain gang, principally. I get all that too. But I think it forces the people who we expect to advocate for our permanent interests, it forces them to act in accordance. So these are things, I'll give you a good example of what I observed the other day. So in the UK, they have political parties too, right? And the political party who wins assumes office, like you would expect. The political party who loses, they elect a shadow government. They elect a president, they elect a secretary of state, or whatever their version of it is, a minister of defense, or whatever they call it. They elect all those officials, and they present themselves throughout the term of this election, or this candidate who won, as a viable choice. This is what we would do if we were in charge. I'd like to see the Dems do that. Sit Kamala up there and call her president. Let Tim, whatever his name is, be the vice president, and pretend. In the instances where we see the stupidity going on, they have a chance to get in front of a microphone and say what they would do. Does that not make sense?
It makes sense. I just don't know how effective it would be. I think they're being more effective by going to town hall meetings. I don't know what it's going to do. I just think it would make it even more confusing, and people would not. In America, I don't think we're built that way.
So that would imply that the people in the UK are smarter.
No,
somehow they don't get
they've been
confused.
doing it longer.
But somehow they don't get confused.
They've been doing it the whole time. To interject
So they
something
were
like
stupid at
that.
some point and they got smart?
No.
Were they stupid in the beginning and they finally got it?
That's not what she said.
That's
It's just like starting a new job. You may not be the best at that job until you're trained on it and it becomes part of you and you work through it. So she's saying it's easier for them because they've been doing it for a while. It's going to be confusion over here if you tried it first because people are not used to operating that way.
Okay, so when did we start?
some things, just because it works one place doesn't mean it'll work here. I think that we are so.
Some things work.
I think
other places also do work here, though.
I'm right. I don't. That's why I said some. Some do, some don't.
Right.
That example that you're giving, I just don't think is a match for us here.
So imagine if you saw press conferences from Kamala Harris on a regular basis, where she talked about the stupidity going on in the Orange Menace's house and what she would do instead of that.
I think that we are so divided now that she would be in more danger by doing that than she is now.
Okay, but she ain't afraid of no danger because she's a
But
She
you
ain't afraid
understand
of
my
no
point? I just don't think it would be effective.
No, but
I think it would be
no.
more divisive.
I want you to think about what you would consume as a voter by seeing that.
Let's go back to something he said earlier. One of the first things he said, well, let's take off all the labels. So we're just people. And you talked about divisiveness. Part of that divisiveness often comes down to race, comes down to creed, comes down to religion, comes down to belief, and it also comes down to political parties.
Right.
Part of the reason that we can't move forward on one agenda, because sometimes our own interests, whether it's party, whether it's race, whatever is influencing us, is stronger than what's best for the country. what's best for the whole, not our own interests, not just the people who voted us in. But if we get rid of those labels, I did like that part because I think we can be better. Because it's gotten to the point now is that whoever's in office, the opposite side just fights it. And that is very difficult. And that slows us from progressing and moving forward.
Not only do they just oppose what the other side is doing, they don't fight for what they want. They don't fight for what they want. They just stand in opposition.
And who are you talking about doesn't fight for
I'm
what?
saying that the party that's out of power,
Right.
they just oppose everything. It's easy to do that.
I hope I can get this out in a way that makes sense because I've been thinking about this since you said this months ago. Because, I have conversations by myself after this show is over.
She talks to herself.
I told you she was in
No, I run the conversations that we have in my mind and I think about it. And see, I talk too much. I forgot what I was going to say.
But that's a
I
good
was
point.
so excited too.
Great point, Michelle. I'm going to note that one.
Oh my God.
You got a pen and a paper and everything. Maybe you should be taking notes.
I do sometimes, but it was right there. Okay, so can you remember what you said just a second ago to make me react?
I can't remember where I was yesterday. Yeah, Michelle. So they just oppose. They don't advocate.
Oh, that's what it was. It's not just opposition. They're opposed because if you look at what they're doing, the MAGAs, they are taking things away. So the opposition is to the dismantling, the taking of it away. It's not that there is a platform. We have the platform. They're trying to dismantle it. So yes, we are fighting back, but we do have a platform is my point.
She's part of the gang. She says we.
That's nothing I'm ashamed of though.
I didn't say you should.
I'm a progressive.
Okay.
I'm good with
Go ahead and
that.
finish your point before you forget it again.
I just did, I think.
Was that fair?
She said, I think.
You see what I'm saying? You're saying they're not fighting for anything. And they are. They're fighting for what worked that they're trying to take away.
I think he was saying, he used the term advocating for. That's a difference. So in other words, he's saying if one party says one thing, the other says just the opposite, but that's not really effective. It just causes, going back to that term earlier, it causes fighting, but it's not really effective. So if you advocate, then you have a better chance for maybe possibly influencing the other side. But if we got rid of all those labels that divide us, then we may be more powerful.
And here's the difference, right? So Social Security, for instance, they're talking about cuts to Social Security.
Yeah.
Right? So you can stand in opposition to cuts to Social Security.
Right.
That's one thing.
Right.
Or you could advocate for more Social Security.
You can do both.
But they're not, though. They're arguing against cuts from Social Security. They're not advocating for more Social Security.
Because they're trying to cut Social Security.
I understand that.
So that's why they're having that disagreement. When they should advocate for more Social Security is when we're not in this battle from them taking it away.
No.
You know what I mean? That should always have been the goal.
See, but
Same like
you said
healthcare.
earlier that they don't care.
They don't.
So whether you advocate for or you oppose what they're doing, if I had to choose between the two for somebody who doesn't care, I'm choosing for advocate.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because now it gives me a chance to delineate what it should look like.
Sure.
Right. And so that to my way of thinking, if you can explain it in a way that's understandable to the average voter, now you look like a more attractive candidate because you're advocating for something.
I get you. I hear you.
Right. So not only do I think you should not cut Social Security, I think you should restructure. I think you should raise the Social Security wage base.
Sure.
So that it's more soluble. You got more money flowing into it.
Yep.
Right? I think you should you should loosen up the disability Social Security rules. It shouldn't be so hard to get disability Social Security, right? So this is how you should do that. They should be advocating for that, not just opposing cuts. It just looks different. It feels different. It's for the right kind of voter. Then you begin to remember that at the election time.
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay. Thank you for hearing me. I'm trying to make sure my computer don't shut down on me. That's all. I think it's plugged in. Yeah, it's plugged in. Okay, good. So listen, did we have callers on?
No,
Yeah, did.
we can't hear them.
I know. I'm just saying we have people who call and tell them.
Well, Steve's been on there, but we can't hear him.
Yeah,
And
man, you gotta.
and Henry stopped picking up the phone because he should have.
Yeah, because we can't hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta take a break anyway. So
Henry's got it going on. He knows what's happening. But
it's Goldilocks, right?
Yes.
I'm on all this hair all the time. Oh, y'all got all the hair.
You know, he called me a drug dealer earlier, but he's really a bookie. Just think about it. He's really a bookie. If I'm a drug dealer, he's a bookie.
Good try, man. It's a great try. But it kind of goes together. Drug dealer from Gary kind of goes together, doesn't it?
Bookie from the west side of Chicago. That goes together.
My mom's from West Side. I'm from the suburbs. You understand? From the suburbs, baby.
Oh, and he's proud of that.
I guess so. It sounds like it. I've never
He's
heard
proud
him
of
sound
that.
that
He's proud
excited
of that.
about.
Keep playing, man. I'll call a block club meeting.
What are you gonna say? HP, Holland Park.
That's right, baby. You don't know nothing about that, man. Nothing about that.
And he's talking about gang affiliation.
That's right.
What kind of gangs did y'all have in Holland Park?
You don't understand, do you? Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
Got the phone up. I said I got the phone up. I mean, so I could see Henry.
How come you said you couldn't get to take calls?
Because we can't hear the station. Calls come through the station.
It's some technical problem today.
Yeah.
Okay, but normally you can take calls.
Mhm.
Okay.
But they call into the station and then we can hear them
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Steve is still waiting, huh?
Yeah. I'm sure Henry told him to hang up. He just didn't take it off.
Okay.
3 minutes. Do you have YouTube on your phone?
Yeah.
Someone's asking who you are.
Oh,
You want to answer them?
When they say who,
Come on, man. They come looking for you, man.
hey,
These people
No,
he
it's-
already called me a drug dealer.
Ron Lee says, who is your guest? Oh, you put us on Facebook now? Okay.
Where do I go to on YouTube?
Family meeting.
Love family.
The family meeting.
This dude said a drug dealer from GI.
2 minutes.
He talked about my hometown too.
I haven't asked you about Michael Jackson yet.
The family meeting radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here we are. That's on that. Now tell the people who you are. Who you is.
In the chat.
Yep.
What do I tell them?
Who you are. Ron Lee said, who is your guest?
The name is on the damn. You can't
I
read?
don't know what to tell them.
Although Ron's on Facebook, so.
Big Nook Nook from GI.
Mhm.
Don't lose me now.
"60 seconds. You know, am I the only one with bad earphones today?
Probably. I don't know.
Because I can't, the music is terrible.
No, I hear it fine.
"30 seconds. 15 seconds. And we're on.
That's what I feel now.
What it is, what it is, what it is.
Move your hips, put the feeling from side to side. Sit yourself down in your car and take a ride. While you're moving around steady, baby. Let's call this song exactly what it is. It's a funky and learn I'm feeling. The hips don't
Dan, you want to tell them where you work and stuff, man? That stuff you want to talk over on the corner. You know we're down here.
You see how he is. Right? You see how he is. He's supposed to be a supporter of the African American man. He's supposed to be. He claims to be.
Dan from around the way. You know how down here. You saw the Wire, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, you see the Wire too?
Life changing.
There you go. You been to Baltimore?
No.
I have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we go to DC this year, I'll take you to Bmore.
Okay.
Go get some crab cakes up there.
Oh yes, please.
You
My
know,
favorite
like them
thing.
Baltimore crab cakes. Man.
Oh, what?
You can't even eat the crab cake in one sitting up there, man.
Oh, they that big.
Oh my God.
Ah,
It's
just full
unreasonable.
crab.
It's
Oh.
unreasonable. Like, why you give somebody this much food? What is this, the damn Flintstones?
I would love it so
Tip your
much.
call for trying to eat that stuff, man. Yeah, we'll do that this year. You are going to homecoming, right?
You saw, but yes, I'm going.
Y'all talking about family use homecoming?
No, that's not a homecoming.
I thought you wanted to be at the best.
We're going to Howard's.
Where is that? Is that in the state? Oh, yeah, Howard. It
We're
is.
going out to Mega University now.
Oh, no.
Highland Park's finest.
You don't know, man. You don't know. Shoot, you have a block club for you know it, man.
Howard is in the state of Washington, right?
They don't teach y'all geography down there in Rattler Nation, man. Don't teach y'all geography.
I love this so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. We'll see y'all again this year at the Celebration Bowl. Yeah. You ever been? You never been?
No, I haven't been.
See, he ain't no real Rattler, man. He ain't
But
no
we
real
just
Rattler.
won a year ago.
I was there. I saw it.
Yeah. We won the national championship 1 year ago.
I remember that.
Yeah, I know you do.
You know, he travels with the team.
I was there.
He goes everywhere.
Which team?
His team.
Howard University Bison, you understand?
I haven't heard of it.
You know we got that ass last year. You know that, right?
1 year. Yeah, I guess you do need to celebrate. If you haven't won in years and you win one, you should celebrate.
Oh,
You deserve that. You deserve that.
He don't understand. 'Cause he's a rattler. He don't understand. He's a rattler. You have to have pity on him. You do.
My name is Les. I don't have anything to do with this mess.
Well, I haven't heard that one. That's a good one. Yeah. Sure. Thank you for that. So listen, I hate that we couldn't take calls today because I was actually interested, and I may take it over to next week if I can remember. I didn't tell you this either. After I left you on Sunday last week, I got rear-ended.
What?
Yeah.
On the highway?
Yeah.
You know what? I saw that. That car that hit you had a Howard bumper sticker. And they took off. They took off.
We were over by your corner. But they were uninsured though.
No.
Didn't I tell you it was a Howard bumper sticker?
It's not true at all, man.
So what? They just obviously they didn't stop in time and it was their fault because they hit you from behind.
Yeah.
Did it make you hit somebody or no?
No, because I went to Howard. I'm agile. You understand? I saw him coming, so I pulled over to the shoulder,
Oh.
and they clipped like a corner bumper.
But
So they just were they texting? They just weren't paying attention?
I don't know. I mean, the traffic did stop fairly suddenly, so we all had to slow down fairly quickly, and they just had a ragged ass car and couldn't slow down fast enough.
Oh my gosh.
And my damage wasn't that bad, to be honest with you. It's just when you have those expensive cars, it's got all them damn sensors and stuff in it, so all that stuff runs the price up. But
You're talking about your car, right?
my car, their car,
Is it those expensive cars?
yeah, I noticed. He
expensive
said,
car I drive.
I noticed. He said yes. They
I
had
drive a
raggedy
big daddy
car.
car. You understand?
He said they had a raggedy car.
Right? No, it's
It
sure.
was a ragged ass car. It really was. But
So humble.
so their car was coughing out oil or something when they hit.
No.
Yeah, it was some sort of brown liquid was coming. I was like, you can't drive that, sweetheart. That ragged ass thing. You shouldn't have had it on the road anyway. But the young lady, and I felt bad for her, she appeared to be moving out of her dorm from college downtown, and she was using some adult's car who didn't have insurance. And so that adult has decided they won't communicate with me. So I'll let my insurance company deal with them.
Just straight up, just not responding to you at all.
No. That's cool. I understand some people like to avoid things because they didn't take responsibility.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Well, at least you're okay.
I'm fine.
And the other person was okay. That's
Yes.
the thing.
Yes.
Young lady,
It's a
yeah.
human thing.
Yes.
Human thing.
She was like 19. I think she was 19 years old. She's younger.
And she has a great future ahead of her.
Absolutely. She's in college, trying to do her thing. Just her mama, whoever's car that was ragged. So, so that happened. And what else was see, I done lost my mind, but I was going to tell you something else too. Anyway, tell them who you are, Deanna. These are drug dealers from GI.
I am a person, first of all, if there's one thing people need to know about me, I'm a child of God. And everything that I do derives from there. And what I can do down here on earth,
You've
I do
been practicing this, I can tell.
I do a lot of speaking. I do a lot of speaking in schools. Particularly, I live in the south suburbs. Some of my kids' schools have a mixture of people who have backgrounds that are a bit challenging, and then you have some that live more comfortably. There are some people that get free lunch and government assistance in some of these schools. My mindset is to go into these schools and make a difference. So much that we've been talking about today is about the different parties. So I'm trying to get our people as a whole, I'm talking about all people around the world, and I'm doing my small part here in Chicago to get our people to become totally independent. Where we may not like who's in office at the executive highest level, but we're still okay regardless. We have to become independent. And I say that on that people take pride out of it, to be the best student that you can, to ask questions, to make your teachers responsible and accountable for educating you, to take the time to answer your questions so you can put yourself in position to have choices. Where if you want to go to Howard or Florida A&M, you can go. If you want to go to an Ivy League school, you can go. If you want to go to a state school, you can go. But put yourself in position to be an entrepreneur like you are, a corporate executive, something outstanding, that you are independent and you're not worried about government assistance to the point that you're worried about who's in office, because that's going to affect your bottom line. Be the best that you can be independently. That's who I am, trying to make that difference.
He didn't mean any of that.
Yes, he did. You're so awful. You are the worst. The worst.
See, that's something they teach at FAMU, is for African Americans to lift each other up.
That's
and
what we
support
should
each
do
other.
as human beings, but
Yeah.
specifically
But
our people. We
I'm
should
starting
lift
to
each
wonder
other.
about Howard alumnus now. Did they not get that lesson?
He's down. He's down.
I'm tired of lifting. I'm gonna push a little bit now.
Mhm.
So that's good. I'm glad you came, man. You should come hang out with us some more.
I look forward to it.
You
I'm
should.
having fun.
Good. Can you believe we've been here for 2 hours now? Can you believe that?
2 hours feels like 2 minutes.
Is it time to go almost already?
Almost.
And then Michelle's laughter is just making it go even quicker. So it's really good.
Because I'm loud and obnoxious.
Not at all. Fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's loud as obnoxious.
I know.
Yeah, she is. She is. We lovingly call her Snotty Pippen.
Shut up. You didn't have to introduce him to that just now.
I like hearing it though. I like that. I like anyone who makes me laugh.
I can cry in a minute, just about anything. She's not crying.
I do. I'm an emotional person. What can I say?
Yeah. You know, the waterworks start coming in, the snotties and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just,
I feel judgment.
I bet you do. I bet you do. She's also, though, helping us organize the golf outing this year. So we need golfers soon.
We need teams of 4.
August 1st is the golf outing.
Yes.
And so we're thinking about adding gaming as an event for that day. So we're going to have virtual reality headsets out there and video games and then board games. Happily, sorry.
Want to talk about our hole-in-one prize?
A hole-in-one prize. You like riding motorcycles, man?
Bicycles, not motorcycles.
Okay. We're giving away a Harley for a hole-in-one.
Yay!
Okay, excellent. Well, someone will enjoy that.
No,
You all have class.
they won't. Nobody's going to hit a hole-in-one.
Someone may make a hole-in-one.
Okay, your little optimist thing don't work. The likelihood of hitting a hole-in-one is almost nil.
Doesn't mean that almost means there's a possibility.
That's right. It's two different things.
These people ain't going to hit no hole-in-one.
You don't know. We're going to get some golfers that haven't been before.
How about I bet you?
I don't have anything to bet. I don't have a car. I don't have anything to bet.
I'll bet you a penny then.
Okay, I could do a penny.
Okay. So yours is that somebody will hit a hole-in-one.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that they will. Aren't we going to have more than one hole-in-one?
I think all the par threes have a hole-in-one prize. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're not just talking about the Harley, right?
I'm talking about cash prizes and other
Okay.
things.
All right. I'm good. We're good.
Yeah. It should be nice.
Mhm.
And there'll be food. Chicken.
Lots of food, chicken.
Do we do
beef.
chicken? Beef too?
Yes, hamburger. Yeah. We're going to have everything except brisket and no seafood, unfortunately. We might have some salmon.
It's Wisconsin, though.
Well, we need to have enough variety for
There's going to
everybody.
be lots of cheese. I bet you that.
Well, we didn't talk about cheese on our
There'll
visit.
be, it's Wisconsin. There'll be cheese. They do cheese up there. Yeah. So yeah, board games. If you're into that, if you ain't into the golf thing,
Yeah.
hopefully it ain't too hot.
Yeah. And we're going to have kids that are benefiting
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah.
our scholarships. They're going to come and
High
volunteer.
school kids will be out there volunteering.
So that's great. You're going to get to meet them.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
We gave away, because of y'all, we gave away $30,000.
Yay!
Congratulations.
We want to get it up to 50 this year.
Yes, yes.
So we can send these kids to college. They're not gonna be able to afford FAMU anymore. Because the MAGA lady gonna run up the
Well, they're
price.
going to stop letting black people in there anyway.
No, I mean, that's what they do. I mean, this dude is demonstrative of that. Everything he touches dies.
I know.
Right? So
Which one, DeSantis or DT?
both.
Yeah.
Both. It's crazy. I mean, he runs businesses into the ditch. Look, he's littered the landscape with attorneys who've lost their licenses or are in jail. Everything he touches dies. And so to the extent he touches FAMU, we got a problem. Here's the biggest problem. Now I got to stand up for rattlers.
We all do. We all do.
I never thought I'd see today.
You know.
I never thought I'd see today.
Kumbaya.
I'm gonna have to go down there and get in somebody's line and protest on this, man.
There is a bond among all HBCUs. Highly supportive. Anytime we see them in the NCAA tournament, we always support them.
Mm-hmm.
I love that about.
See, I can drag you, but if she
I
drags you,
can't do it. I can't do it. And I have so much respect for that.
Yeah.
Truly, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't play now.
I don't believe in shoulda, woulda, coulda, with the exception of my college. I wish I would have gone to
Right.
HBCU.
Well, you get to go now because you get to go to homecoming.
I know.
Same difference.
Yes.
And she did the Snotty Pippen routine at homecoming
I
too.
cried most of the time. It was just so beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah, that's.
I told all my white friends about it. They want to come.
Double
Tell him,
up,
come
yo,
on in.
Uptown.
All right, y'all. That's all the time we have. Deon, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thank you, Deanna.
Thank you. It was more fun than I could ever even imagine. Thank you all for having me.
Tune into the family meeting every Sunday at 4. I'm your host, Eric Grant. Peace.
Smell sweet breath to kill. You got me open like a token, hot and smoking, jacuzzi, bubble bath, laughing, joking, candlelight,
You know,
talking
I like
about
music.
how you and your ex-man,
Oh.
tropical sight.
He's gonna make it out here in a minute, right?
You've been killing this heavy D. That's the second heavy D you played.
You with some riches, you lovable, huggable. I love that you know
Oh, yeah,
it. As long as I'm around and
It's
down,
smooth.
nothing
It's
ever
smooth.
Yeah, he didn't dance like a big dude either.
That's my. I mean, I love the rap, obviously, but that's one of my favorite things when I watch those videos. I am mesmerized by him in motion.
Yes. Yeah, he was smooth. He was big.
Yes,
He can dance.
but
He can jump.
yes,
Mhm.
he was very agile.
And he's smooth too.
Yeah.
Must be quality time. Cute face, haircut, like the Halle design. Keep my dead laced
What's
up
that?
with fly green makeup, but you should see her when she wake
Oh
up.
yeah. I can see it in my head without even looking. I love videos. I watch videos I watch old school videos all the time. When she asked me about YouTube, I put my playlist on YouTube. I'm playing the house or whatever. I'm listening to music and watching videos at the same time.
You're cleaning the house, you said, and watching videos.
Uh-huh.
How can you clean and watch videos?
So I'm doing both. I got, I'm not standing looking at it, but it's on while I'm vacuuming, while I'm moving couches, while I'm doing this. That's my entertainment. That's my energy. It
Do you-
gets me going.
Do you know about Mr. Grant's playlist?
Mhm.
If you go to the website, tfmradioshow.com,
Mhm.
playlist is on there. You want to get out with that.
Is it like what we've been listening to today?
It's the most amazing thing
1800
that you will
tracks.
ever listen to.
Okay. It's kind of stuff that we're listening to today.
That's what it is. That's where he's taking
All right.
it from.
All right, cool. Well, I'm with that. You probably have the second best playlist that we can ask for.
What?
You probably have the second best playlist.
Sure, his is the first.
Yes. Matter of fact, why don't you go to mine now while you're on here on YouTube?
Is it on YouTube?
You have a playlist that you can.
Yeah, it's public.
You know, we're still on the air, by the way. I don't think Eric told you that.
We're on the stream.
We're on YouTube. We're not on WCPT, but
So people can hear us talk.
yeah, we like that. I'm going to the
Oh,
restroom.
I didn't know that. How about now? Can they hear me now with the headphones on?
Yes, because we're not on the station anymore.
Oh, okay. You can hear us on YouTube.
Yeah, you ain't got to wear the headphones.
I like the music.
We'll turn it up here.
Oh, okay. So if you go to Deon Hardy, you'll see my playlist.
On YouTube Music.
On your regular YouTube. That's where my playlist are, on YouTube. And you say go to TMF?
TFM Radio Show.
TFM radio show. Can I listen to the whole thing? Is it public?
Yeah.
TFM radio show. There it is.
You're going to have to send me the list, man. 'Cause I don't.
Don't stop, let everybody hear you.
Plan your vote, events, join the family, Where do I find this?
Yeah, there's a bunch of y'all Deon Hardings out here, man.
No, it's only one thing.
Ah, there you go. There's the playlist there.
Probably view
This
channel,
one?
I'll probably get you. Yeah, you can subscribe to view channel. Yeah. So, yeah, here we go. That's my Christmas playlist. First two are Christmas.
Smooth House? I don't do
Yeah.
house music, man.
Yeah, now you got others. I got others. You don't have them all for some reason. Keep going, keep going. All right, so that was Boo. It's real good. That one is, can you keep going? And another one says Nothing But Hits. Another one says Soulful. And the one that's really off the chain, Are You Kidding Me? If you like hip hop, Are You Kidding Me is a lot of stuff like you were playing today.
Okay. 146 songs on that.
Yeah.
You gotta catch up, man.
Yeah.
Mine's like 1800. Doesn't work to be fun.
I'm not gonna catch up with 1,800 songs. 1,800 songs. I'm listening to country and western. All right, Shake That Thing. Maybe I messed up because it doesn't look like I'm in a playlist.
If you hit the link there, it'll take you to YouTube.
Shake That Thing, the family meeting playlist.
Yeah, just put the picture there.
Oh, I got it. Okay, YouTube music.
Yeah.
Adrian and Richard, if you guys are listening, you canceled each other out today.
Wait a minute now.
They do. They listen.
No, they're not.
Wait a minute. Okay, your first one is Flashlight. My wife would love that. My wife loves. Okay.
See the Funketeer?
Not so much a Funketeer, but she loves Flashlight.
Yeah, it's kind of half the game right there. If you don't like
My wife's a little bit younger. She's about 8 years younger, so she's not quite at the age of being a Funketeer.
Yeah, man, the funk is all up in hip hop and everything. What do you mean?
And she's like you. She grew up in a white neighborhood.
Okay, don't get it right now. I didn't grow up in a white neighborhood.
You said you grew up in Highland Park.
I went to high school in Highland Park
Oh, okay, okay. Is that where you get your
for
gang?
2 years.
Is that where you get your gang affiliation?
Man, you don't understand. You better recognize.
He been talking all this stuff. He talking about a G.I. jerk them. And he's from Highland Park.
That's right.
How you gonna talk about somebody?
That's right. So did you know Michael Jackson?
No, but I used to date Janet.
Lying ass.
I figured you'd go for that.
I did. It's like, what? That's
Yeah,
my girl.
This is a nice playlist here.
Yeah, man. There's some tracks in there that are hour-long mixes too.
Really? So it's gonna take me a few weeks to listen to this.
Oh yeah, you be on that joint forever, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all good.
Yeah.
That is all good.
So next week, if we can make these damn phones work, we need to talk about because you know the DNC plucked. What are you doing?
She's showing me something.
Jazzy D wants to know what's your playlist name. Are you opening up to the general public?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show a picture of it. Look at my camera, Jazz. Let's see right there.
Jazzy D, can you see it?
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
You should put a picture there, man, instead of the big ass D.
Because the word it's blurry.
And ask her which one you want. She want Christmas playlist. She want house playlist. She want old school hip hop. Which one you want?
Jazzy, did you hear?
Let me see if I can load it up in here. I'll put it on the chat. A big ass D on your stuff. Man.
Yes, Jazzy D, I got it.
She got it.
No, I'm telling her. She's asked me
Do
something.
you all know her?
She came to the pizza party. We do know her.
Okay. What pizza party?
Our annual pizza party. We're gonna have one this year, right?
Have a lot of people y'all work with.
It's our listeners.
Oh, okay. So the party's for the listeners.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's good. Good idea.
Yeah.
What do you all have?
Williams Inn.
Williams Inn.
Oh, good.
Yes, I assume that we're doing it this year. I'm assuming.
She be trying to get your boy to buy pizza.
I did, but he wouldn't do it. But we still had people come anyway.
We're gonna have hundreds of people there.
You trying to get him to sponsor the pizzas?
Yes.
And he didn't sponsor anything?
No, he didn't do it. But
Y'all-
people
y'all-
came and
y'all-
enjoyed it.
Third person, man.
Y'all brought him hundreds of people and he didn't give y'all anything?
He who?
The owner.
No.
He didn't give us anything.
With hundreds of people?
We didn't have hundreds of people.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She wanted me to buy pizza.
Who is she?
This
Me.
one here.
Oh, so who bought it?
It was.
Everybody
It
bought
was.
their own
It
piece.
was.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I got it.
You know what happens when you feed squirrels?
Mm-hmm.
They come back.
They come back. Did Jazzy D get it?
Let's
Yeah, I
see.
put it on YouTube for her. Put the link on YouTube.
Okay, so she can get all of them on there.
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
He's pretty proud of his list, Jazzy. So you should listen to it if you like it or something. So he feels good about himself.
See, and she said we had a wonderful time, even paying for ourselves. So
I don't
you
like
get
that.
back
I
up.
don't like the face you made. I don't like that at all. It was disheartening. A little disturbing, as a matter of fact.
It was.
Kind of shocking to look up at you and get that look on your face. You know what I mean? Real teethy, real teethy.
That's why I'm laughing, because I know exactly what I did, and it just kind of came out of nowhere for you to like. You make me insane. I tell
So
you.
how did you all come together?
Me and Michelle?
Yeah.
Terrible car accident.
Was she the one hit you from behind? Oh man,
Something happened in the alley.
You good radio host.
Some sort of war or something like that. Mass disease or something. Something happened. Bad. Something bad happened, man.
You know what? I'm amazed that Eric, I'm making an assumption, right? That he goes pretty much drama free-less in his life.
Mhm.
It's an intentional thing, right?
I'll tell you why.
And then,
I don't give
and then he asked me to be part of the group.
I think she sent an email complaining or something like that. She's
So how did you all meet?
We met when I came to read the news one day.
Oh
No,
really?
no. You sent me an email. You
We
complained
didn't
about
meet
something.
we didn't meet personally till I came to the station.
Okay, but we met electronically when you sent me that
Are you
email.
a journalist?
No, I'm gonna tell you when we're off the air.
How long are we gonna be on there?
Till Eric tells us we're done.
Oh, okay.
Kind of after.
Yes, our after stuff.
Okay. And how long does this last?
Till Eric tells us to go,
2015.
or unless I have
Okay.
someplace to go, or he has
You gotta
someplace
rush
to
out,
go.
man. You got somebody waiting on you, man.
Not rush hour. Not rush hour, no.
From the corner.
See how he is.
He's
He
terrible.
got a little stomach ache in his place out there on the corner. Little stomach ache. Stomach ache, man. He got a bad stomach, man. So he got the boo boo. Oh,
No,
You gotta
no.
You know stomach ache.
Oh
Throw
my
on
god.
them kid.
You are awful.
That's funny.
Awful.
You don't know, man. You don't know. We played FAMU in August
Oh really?
in Miami.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Glad you said that.
You going down?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
Get
It's always a
that
good
ass.
time.
Get that ass.
That's always a good time. I like to go down there for a win. It's
Yeah,
worth
this
traveling.
time.
You know, even if it's a high ticket, high hotel, whatever, it's worth traveling when you win. And you usually choose a team that you know you can beat to play like places like Miami. Matter of fact, we probably gonna play y'all for homecoming too. You pick a team you know you can beat for homecoming.
That's what
Oh.
he thinks. See. That's
Oh.
what he thinks. No, we came here 2 years ago and almost beat Northwestern.
Yeah,
In
that's
which
true.
sport?
Football.
Oh wow.
Football, yeah.
Now I didn't know that, but I would have been cheering for you. In all seriousness, I would have been cheering for you. We came here and almost beat Northwestern in basketball.
I remember that too.
Wow.
This is a while ago.
He had a
Some years
seven footer on
back.
the team that year.
You're talking about the guy who ended up going to the NBA. He played a few years in the NBA. He was 7 feet tall. I can't think of his name, but he played. Matter of fact, he got some good money too. I think he played with Detroit. And he played with the Knicks.
I remember. Yeah, I remember he's long and kind of skinny. Yeah.
Wise or something like that.
Yeah. Wise.
Something
yeah,
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Eric Wise, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to Florida. I swore off Florida.
Because of the political environment?
Well, ever since they killed Trayvon Martin, I decided I wasn't going to spend any money in Florida. Unless it's FAMU.
I understand.
I send money there. I'm not going.
So you haven't been to the entire state since? You strong, man.
I'm setting foot in. Well, see, I think that's the problem is people don't allow themselves to be inconvenienced. If somebody got to suffer consequences, they got to suffer consequences. You know, when we punish our kids, it's a punishment for us too. But they needed them. So nobody wants to sacrifice. When they were, Michelle talked about this, when they were boycotting Target, people couldn't wait to get their asses back in Target.
Well, is it over?
No,
it's not.
They're still boycotting.
It's become geographical though.
What do you mean?
Right, meaning there's this one church I think it's in the South that has a big coalition that's saying, he said he didn't care what Reverend Al said or what kind of agreement he made with them, they were still boycotting.
That's the minister in Atlanta. Yeah. He's trying to get a meeting with the CEO.
Yeah.
To make a difference. Now that's a good example of trying to be effective. What you're talking about.
So Reverend Al was supposed to have met with the CEO of Target.
It was just 2 or 3 weeks ago when I read that story. He was going to be there that week.
Yeah,
that following week.
I tell you what I've been hurting on is Walmart. I miss Walmart.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
So you clean the house and shop at Walmart?
Huh?
You clean the house and shop at Walmart?
Yeah.
He's perfect.
Domestic ass Dion.
He's perfect. He's perfect. Where's Mrs. Dion? Let me shake her hand.
Yeah. Now she does the majority, but I help. I do stuff.
Well, you look at me like that.
Yeah. My wife doesn't work outside the home, but I do.
That doesn't matter.
I do stuff. That's what I'm saying. My point is. Yeah, I do stuff. But
Meaning
Walmart,
you should still help, and you do. So that's really cool.
I get my Carry lotion, and I get my product.
Oh, you carry lotion?
I'm a Carry lotion dude, man.
I get down, man.
You do?
I get down.
I can't find it anyplace else though.
Besides Walmart?
Besides Walmart.
You can order it online.
Oh, hey, so here's the thing. Amazon charges you twice as much.
You don't get. We can't do Amazon anymore either.
All right, so here's the thing. How you gonna order it online?
Go straight to the manufacturer.
I tried that, and they send you to Amazon. The manufacturer says go here if you want to do online shop. Click that, and they send you to Amazon.
Costco has it too.
Are you sure about that? Because they didn't list it. Because then they gave you a spot that said find a retailer that sells Carry. They had Amazon, they had Rite Aid, and they had Walmart. Those were the only 3. Are you sure about Costco?
Yeah.
You bought it at Costco.
Earlier this year, I bought some in January.
I'm glad you said that. I need to go straight there. Because that's
See,
a deal
I get why it's not on Costco, because all those people are working together, right? Come to us, go to them, but Costco's not in that circle. So that's why they didn't tell you could get it there. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
So when you did the search for the lotion,
I went directly to the distributor.
and they told you to go to Amazon.
They sent me to Amazon. They did not send me to Costco.
Because Costco is a how do I want to call it? Public friendly or consumer friendly? Meaning they pay well, their staff. They are good to their customers. Their prices are pretty reasonable.
No.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now.
Try to order it and see what happens. You're not gonna get it. Secondly,
Some stuff you have
if
to
you
go into
there,
the store for.
They don't have it in the store. I've tried it.
They might have just saw you coming and said, "Here you come." Put it away.
They don't have it in Walgreens.
Here you come.
I tried it. I've tried CVS. I've tried Walmart.
I think you slept rock, man. You just bad luck or something, man.
I'm slept rock, man. But you look more like slept rock.
But I can find you some damn Carry lotion.
What are you gonna put on your head?
Wow.
Let me tell you something. Your hair's overrated. Let me tell you something about hair. All that extra hair and stuff y'all be carrying around, you should just feel bloated with all that hair.
It does take time, I tell you.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do nothing but I'm out.
I don't have to do much either.
But I'm glad you're talking about Costco. Though. I'm gonna try that.
I had to have it shipped though, so I couldn't go in the store. It wasn't in the store.
Okay, so you went online and ordered from Costco.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. Did they overcharge you on the price?
He don't know.
Okay, because when I was in Walmart, I can carry lotion for $7. Amazon charges $11 and $12 a bottle, a full bottle for $7. So I'm trying not to pay Amazon prices, but you're saying I shouldn't shop at Amazon. Huh?
No, we're not. We
What's the
we
deal
broke
with Amazon?
up with
So this
I haven't heard what's happening with Amazon.
Jeff. You don't know about Amazon and all?
Bezos. What happened?
Well, okay, so they're
they
the
don't like
opposite,
black people.
right? And they don't pay their people well. They treat them pretty poorly, and
Okay.
There's some carry lotion
and he's a
right now.
MAGA.
You can get 2 bottles for $19.
All right, so that's $8. That's $9 a piece. A little bit more, but that's better. Where do you see that?
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Okay, thank you. All right, so
And I did a story about how they in Washington they parse out different zip codes in our neighborhoods, and even though they're paying for Prime or whatever, they don't get deliveries the same time everybody else gets them because they don't want their people going into the neighborhoods. But they're making them pay their.
people going to the neighborhood?
There are certain neighborhoods that
The drivers?
Amazon in general in Washington, they segregate these zip codes, and after a certain time, they can't get deliveries. Whereas every
Because they're
other,
afraid they're gonna get robbed or something?
I don't know what the reason is.
So most of the drivers, a lot of the drivers, if not most of them, are private contractors.
That's true. We got dudes from FAMU that own Amazon trucks.
Yeah, you can buy several routes.
They got their fleet.
So I can see there's some neighborhoods I don't want to be in it now.
But here's the thing though. Let's go back to Amazon. Jeff Bezos, he owns the LA Clippers.
Yeah.
And he came out and said,
It's the dude that was at Microsoft owns the Clippers.
maybe I got the wrong name.
Microsoft is
Belcher or something is his name. The guy he took over for that racist dude.
Right. So that's not the guy from Amazon.
No.
Okay, well I got it mixed up because he is supportive of black people.
Bezos. Oh yeah, he is.
The guy who owns the
Bezos
Clippers.
is not.
Because he makes money on black people.
Bezos is not.
His employers are black people. All his players are black.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
why.
And his coach is black.
It's convenient for him.
I didn't know about Amazon.
Just check it out. He's not in
My daughter gets Amazon coming to the house every day.
It's not. They're not for us at all.
And it's inconvenient as hell.
To not
And
go.
Amazon was a convenience.
I mean, you could get some stuff the same day.
I hear people going to Alibaba now and shop.
Well, but now we got the tariff shit going on. We can cuss now.
I think they got a warehouse here.
He didn't stop. He was cussing the whole time.
You can say damn. You can't say shit. The F word. But YouTube doesn't give a.
They don't even beep us.
Not on YouTube.
No.
Mm-mm.
So tell me about this radio show. How long have you all been doing it?
Eric has been doing this show for over a decade.
Wow.
He started out WVON.
87th Street.
Used to be on 87th, downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the constant. This is his show. He tries to pawn it
It's our
off
show.
on other
It's
people.
our show.
It's your show. I'm a co-host.
Stephen A. and Molly. Stephen A. and Molly.
No, we don't do that. No, we're not Stephen A. and Molly.
So
That dude is such a character.
That's what I'm saying. We don't.
So you saying I can't support him either?
You can do whatever you want when it
You
comes to
tell me
him, but
I
I'm
can't
not.
support Stephen A.?
You can do that, but I'm not a fan.
But sometimes
Why don't you like Stephen A.?
Well, I think that his head wouldn't fit through this door.
Because he's so big headed?
Yes. I mean, come on. He actually answered the question when somebody said, "You really would consider running for the presidency?" And he said, "Well, if I'm asked to, if I'm the one that has to do it, then yeah, I'll do it. I'll run for president. Really? What?
But Michelle, does that make him bad?
I didn't say he was bad.
So, but is that a negative?
Yeah.
Well, I would give the same answer. Though.
Why is it negative?
I would accept it more from you than him.
But why is it negative?
Because he don't know nothing about nothing but sport.
But that doesn't mean he can't be confident.
There's a difference between confidence and arrogance.
I don't know.
You see arrogance in him?
In Stephen?
Yeah.
Was that a rhetorical question?
No, I'm asking you if you see it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I do too.
I was, yes. That's why I said his head couldn't fit through this
He
door.
thinks a lot of himself.
He just is
But
so
Michelle,
impressed
can
with
you-
himself.
but Can you not like a person because of that? Is that fair? Now, if he's out here saying, forget all y'all ends, I'm supporting this and that, that's different. And there are people out there like that. There's black
That was
people out there
that
like
was
that.
the example that
But
I
he doesn't-
used.
he
But
doesn't have that.
tell me why you like him.
He's funny.
I said I don't think he's funny.
He's extremely articulate. Extremely articulate. And when he goes into something, it's well read and studied. He's entertaining and he's a shock jock. You know, a lot of stuff he says he may not necessarily believe, but he knows how to keep drawing people in.
See,
sometimes people go with people they hate.
That's
I'm not a hate
I agree
consumer.
with everything you said, and I disagree with his need to put on a show.
Yeah.
What do you mean? His need.
Like,
to put on-
he's too intelligent and too well read and too well written to add this circus.
To be a
portion.
buffoon.
To just say things to get a reaction.
That's what draws people in. It's like Tom and Jerry. Tom could never catch Jerry, no matter what. And that's
a cartoon.
I don't know.
The point is, that's what what you got to understand.
But one is a cat and one is a mouse.
And that's what kept people coming back because he could never catch him. Is sometimes people wanted, it got to the point that people wanted Tom to catch Jerry because they stayed with it so long. And you have to have something that draws people. And that's what Stephen A is doing. That's what y'all are missing. That's why he talks about Dallas Cowboys so much. Because they are America's team, one of the most popular, most profitable, popular teams in the country. And he dogs them out. One person would think, okay, he's losing audience. No, that makes them listen more. You all are
Not me.
listening. You all are
It
listening.
doesn't
It's
do
a
that
shock
to me.
jock. It's a shock
Okay.
jock.
I didn't like Howard Stern either.
Yeah, I mean, he was a shock jock, but he made a lot of money.
But
And
that's
they know what they're doing.
For those who have an appetite for it, that's great. Happy for you, but
I
it's
just
not my
don't-
cup of tea.
I don't think he needs the theatrics to be compelling.
And I'm not sure that he's that well. Look,
First of all, you know he went to Black College.
Winston-Salem State.
Winston-Salem
Yeah, I'm not
State.
sure people who go there can read. I'm just saying.
Secondly, you know who his mentor was?
No.
Steve Harvey.
well, that makes all the sense in the
Steve
world because I
Harvey
don't like that motherfucker either.
Steve Harvey taught him how to do that stuff.
Oh well,
So they-
it all makes sense
They
now.
know how to market themselves. I don't know if you can hate a person for that.
I don't
hate him. I just I'm not a fan.
You can't hate on them for that.
So I met
Yes, I
Steve-
can.
I met Steve at a basketball game. Howard played somebody, and it was nationally televised, and he was doing the pregame or whatever he was doing. And I had a chance to meet Steve, and he just struck me as a cat that was
Superficial.
overly self-important, just a little bit over the top.
All about himself.
Well, you know why he
Yeah.
left Chicago, right? You hear the story? You read the
Stephen A.
story?
Chicago?
Stephen A.
I'm talking about Steve Harvey. Were you talking about?
Oh yeah, Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey. Okay.
I know Steve too. So.
I thought you were talking about Stephen A. when you were saying that about the story when you met him.
Why did he leave Chicago?
He got tired of people looking at him and wanting to speak to him, and he didn't want to do that. He wanted to come to the show, do a show, and leave and bounce. He didn't want to shake
Yeah,
hands.
that's how Steve is.
He didn't want to do none of that.
I knew Steve back in the day when he was fighting baldness stuff.
Before the toupee.
Okay.
And my girl Wendy and Steve used to hang out when he came to town and go to All Jokes Aside all the time.
I'm gonna challenge y'all again. It's hard to be a celebrity.
No shit. For
So
sure.
if you're a celebrity, especially doing well, from both an entertainment and a business standpoint, people are constantly trying to find out what you did, to be a part of your business, to clamp on. After a while, then we can take that so often.
You don't have to be.
It's not like being a regular person.
You don't have to be a dick, though.
I agree. You don't have to be a dick about it. But I'm just saying, just try to understand that it's difficult being a celebrity.
I try to be understanding, but again, there are all kinds of celebrities who will walk. Living in Chicago is the greatest thing ever. You can walk down the street and run into a celebrity, and most of the time they're nice.
They're cool.
I mean, I was stalking a celebrity that lived in my building.
So, you guys know who Patrick Williams is? Plays for the Bulls.
I don't know much about it. I haven't been watching Bulls much lately.
Yeah, nothing to watch. This kid Patrick Williams has been playing for the Bulls for probably 5 years now. Great kid. Arguably a celebrity in town. He is my example of a person who's celebrity who is gracious in being a celebrity. Probably overly so. When I met Patrick the first time, he came to me, he shook my hand and introduced himself. Like I didn't know who he was.
That's cool.
Hi, I'm Patrick Williams. It's good to meet you. It's like that. That's
Instead of making the assumption that, I don't have to introduce myself.
I think of him, anything that's the opposite of that was my interaction with Steve.
Now, how old is Patrick Williams?
I don't know, 27, 8, something like
He's
that.
a boy. He's
but that's when you're the most
boy speaking to a mature man.
That's when they're the most arrogant,
But Steve Harvey and Stephen A. Smith, 50, 60 years old. They done been through that. They're mature.
See, I look at it the opposite. I think the kid should be the one that's unapproachable and arrogant, because when you're young, that's what you think about
And you're a
yourself.
millionaire?
Yes. And when you get older that's why he should have treated him like shit, is my point.
And here's the other thing. Patrick Williams is not that big a celebrity. He's a local Bulls player. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not Scottie Pippen.
But I was at the Berto Center.
Yeah.
And it was after practice when he walked up to me and introduced himself.
And here's the thing. I don't even know who he is. So my point is, there's a difference between being Patrick Williams and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan can't go anywhere without people mobbing him.
Yeah, but is he a dick,
not
though?
quite there yet.
He's not a dick, though, is he?
I
don't know if he is.
I've heard it. I can't say from one way or the other. But I'm saying I think y'all need to give Steve Harvey another chance and Stephen A. Smith.
I like Steve Harvey a little bit. I mean, I wish he would do. I don't think he does enough comedy.
Yeah.
I think he should go back to doing comedy, his roots. But he kind of sold out to the corporatist, and I miss the other Steve.
Should he making money, man?
Yeah, I get that too. But even like Dave Chappelle make money, but he still gets out and does shows.
The roots.
Yeah, because that's the essence of who he is. It's his artistic part of him.
What would you think about LL?
LL Cool J? LL just had a Rock the Bells tour.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
He's
that.
still on that. In fact, Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince are going back out there.
Okay.
So I like people who I miss that about Steve Harvey.
I missed that about Queen Latifah. I liked her as a rapper more than anything.
Yeah, I did too.
I love the Queen.
Yeah.
I love her as an actress. I do.
Well, she's good. Shit, Heavy D was a good actor.
What was he in?
So he was in Living Single.
Yeah, I remember him on Living Single.
And he did a couple of movies where he was a heavy, not a criminal, but a dude of the streets. And then he was doing theater in California.
I like everything about Heavy D. His style, his voice, his smooth approach. I thought he was good. I thought he was really good. So
he's one of the best.
When you opened up with him today, I was feeling that. Matter of fact, that got me fired up. They got me into it more.
Big Daddy. Big Daddy. Okay, y'all, let's call it a night.
Okay.
Well, this was great. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just glad you made